Hello, everybody. Welcome to the
Hello.
podcast.
Hello, hi, and welcome.
Yeah.
This is episode 2 now?
Episode 2. It's me, Storfus, and I'm sitting next to Sleepy right in front of this microphone that he's on the other side of right now.
Hi.
Yeah. And we have our guest with us. Guest.
Who thankfully is not next to them, otherwise I'd die.
Yes, probably would.
Yeah.
And he's also British this time.
We're both a couple of plus-sized gentlemen. We'd probably squish you.
Echo? Nobody? What do you mean, Echo?
What, Echo?
Yeah, not only am I minus size, I'm pretty sure my bones are jelly.
Probably.
I think there's an echo.
I think at this point I'm just an inner octopus.
I have it on.
Oh, that's not...
Except I don't have a venomous beak, which would be awesome.
Now we sound better, guys. Look at that. What do you know? When you set the microphone to the right setting. Professionalism.
Yeah, don't worry about it. We're here.
Yes.
And we're all okay. I do have a few things that I need to say so we can get it out of the way.
Punch him to prove it? Okay.
Ow.
The audience said.
Why are you guys not...
I must go with the audience win.
Here. Slap me real good.
All right.
Slap me real good. Ah! See? Told you.
I'm aroused.
Anyway,
Today
today we're talking about Zelda.
we're talking about Legend of Zelda.
The only thing that slaps is me.
That's... What?
I'm a streamer. Anyway, go ahead.
Oh, yeah, no, don't.
Take it away, Adam.
Don't worry about
Tell us all about Zelda.
Well, I don't want to talk
Intro's over. Let's speed along.
Quickly
Look,
before we start, I also want to say that we have a Discord that you can join.
As a matter of fact, we do. Let me grab a link for the people real quick.
Yeah, he'll drop a link to our Discord in the chat. Feel free to go there. We're there frequently, so feel free to scream at us. We will scream back. Yeah, and we're also really, really excited because today we have a very good, we have a guest, a very good friend of ours, Stygian, quite well known for his stern yet fair take on Zelda games.
Stern yet fair.
And we're going to spend today's episode talking about how Legend of Zelda has affected our lives, where the series has gone wrong, where the series has gone right, and a quite, shall we say, hot-button topic, our personal opinion on Breath of the Wild, because I do know that we're all going to have our own opinion.
Oh yeah, that's a mixed bag and a half for everyone involved.
Oh, yeah. Twilight Princess as well probably will come up. Given,
Oh, most definitely.
Given got a couple of opposing viewpoints in here.
I found the list.
I'm going to end up being the devil's advocate between both of you.
Probably. Wait, how can you play devil's advocate if you're agreeing with at least one person?
Because I'm also going to be devil's advocate against you while also being with you, but also not.
That's going to be fucking hard.
Don't worry, it makes sense. So the other thing is, yeah, we're going to be talking about that, how we feel about the series, and also where we would like to see it go. Because I want to have a chat about that as well.
Oh, most definitely.
I wanted to make a fucking video on that.
Well, yeah, that too also, but, that's for the future.
I believe that is it for the ad reel. Don't worry.
Ad reel.
One of these days.
We have a Discord. Not an ad. Hashtag not an ad. Hashtag an ad.
Not a shill.
I am
It is
your
a show.
ad.
Oh, well, I mean, it's a shill, but it's a joke as if it's not. Anyways, we have a Discord.
Let's
Go check
explain
it
the
out.
joke, guys.
So who wants to start first about how Legend of Zelda has affected their lives?
Well, how about we have good old guest Stygian talk about it first?
Well, I mean, it's our show.
Yeah, but he's the
Right.
guest.
Oh, fair.
So take
Right,
it
how
away,
it's-
my British friend.
Right, how it's affected my life? Good question. Probably not as much as Pikmin 2 has, because that's when I realized just what World War One was all about. But no, no.
He's not wrong.
I mean, no, not
Ocarina-
really.
Ocarina of Time was it was the first game I'd ever played. First game I ever got scared at. Actually, it probably scared me more than Dead Space ever did. In weird ways. And I'm not talking to Shadow Temple either. This was just like when I first started playing and I got into the Deco Tree because there was a giant fucking spider in it. Not even really a spider. It had like 2 legs.
Mm-hmm. Also the Redeads. Yeah, you know, that's the classic example that you hear, but the Redeads were fucking... Yeah, I hated them.
Wait. What's wrong with Redeads?
They're scary.
Well,
Well,
they're-
Ocarina of Time.
Well, yeah, but
Also,
that's the whole
they
point.
really,
yeah, I know.
unlike
what-
most other monsters, they really, really get in your personal space.
Yeah, they really do.
They mount you.
Yes, they do.
They were in the Monster Hunter World mechanic before.
Yeah, he just like latches on top. He's like, "Onward, young feeble child, onward to victory. We will grace the battlefield with our presence."
My microphone sounds very muted. Well, that be because I'm on the other side of the microphone.
Oh,
Yeah.
What's no?
Yeah, they're like
Oh,
that.
God.
They're like that
Oh,
stand that
goodness
was on Rohan's back.
I gotta figure out this. Hold on. Should we just go BRB?
No.
No, okay. Sorry, guys. You'll be hearing some
Clicking.
clicking in a second.
Are you sure that is...
That looks like it. Well, we can give this one a try again.
Okay. We're going to have a little bit of echo, probably.
Is this
But do I sound better?
better? Do we sound better?
You sound about the same.
Okay.
Good. That's good. Yeah.
Yes. All right. Awesome.
There is
So-
a bit. I do hear a bit more bumbling.
Well, that's because I was shifting the mic stand a bit.
Oh yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Yep.
But go ahead and
Mm.
carry on with what you're saying, Stygian.
So yeah, Ocarina of Time was number one good time as a child, but eventually Majora's Mask came along, and that was when I was pretty sure. Yeah, no, this is a series I'd probably tattoo on my ass at some stage.
Get a Master Sword on your butt.
I don't know what I'll get. I think
That's like forearm territory. So you can swing your arm. It's like you're chopping someone.
dude, the problem is with everything that's happened in my life, I could get so many fucking tattoos on my arm.
Well, you know, actually, you should get like the crossbow gun from Link's crossbow training tattooed on your arm, so that you can be like, "Show off the guns."
Yeah, just get the one from probably the most obscure game in the entire
Be,
library.
be like,
next to
"What
Okay, well, hold
is
on. Okay,
that?"
Can I go on a little
Rosie
tangent
Ruby
about that
Bud.
game real quick?
Go ahead.
Yeah, go
That
on.
game was so poorly made.
You know what? I'm not gonna lie. All right, so the thing is,
that game got the shaft.
I bought
so
it
hard.
at launch. I got the Wii Zapper at
That,
launch.
of all things.
Yeah, and I'm just gonna say I sunk way more hours into that game than any sane person should.
Are you serious?
As in, I platinumed every mission, and
Wow.
I played the ever living crap out of it.
So is that why you're genuinely like a pretty good shot? Like
Probably not.
unironically?
Probably not, but I'm just gonna say it's a huge guilty pleasure of mine. I love playing that game despite the fact that I know it's not that good.
Well, I don't know, because when me, you and Russ went shooting that one time, and we got to use that rifle with the scope, your grouping was pretty good.
I don't know. The Wii Zapper teaching kids how to shoot at age 7 and above.
Oh no, that's Nerf's job.
Oh yeah, Nerf.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's Nerf's job.
Nerf for nothing, bitch.
You gotta make you You got to make sure you got space in your house, because if I come over there and buy a Winchester, you're gonna have to keep it.
Oh yeah, no.
Oh, it's America, dude. We bathe with our guns.
At least I do.
Oh yeah, I mean I do too. You'd be some kind of crazy European not to.
Yeah. Some sort of British person or something.
Some kind of British person, someone who likes Zelda a
No,
lot or something like that.
Intensified.
Someone named
No,
Stygian, some guy like that.
Yeah.
We don't have guns in the bath. We have crumpets, and it'll eventually, eventually the melted butter drips in and it starts smelling.
Hey man, listen, I'm just saying I would be almost willing to give up guns if it meant I got some damn fucking McVitties over here.
No fair.
I love those.
Well, continuing from your experience with the what was it, the Wii Zapper game? Yeah, Link's crossbow training. Any other profound Zelda experiences?
I know that you lot have played freshly picked Tingle's Rosy Rupee Land, which is the most Japanese of the series.
It's so good. Have you seen any of it?
I've only seen the final boss fight. With,
Oh, dude. Oh, dude.
Oh,
I have not gotten to, like, I'm gonna mention I'm streaming it right now, and the thing is that game, I haven't gotten to the best part of that game, but I'm just gonna mention there's a slight dungeon crawler segment in it. That's a mini game that you absolutely need to see. It's so insane. And it's just like, who thought this was fine? Dude, Tingle straight up in that game, in the last stream that I did of it, Tingle straight up gets called a molester.
Oh, God.
Yeah. There's a joke about Tingle being a molester in the game. And it's like, oh, shit. Things just got serious.
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah, Nintendo.
Yeah, on that fucking line of things, right? I was dabbling on YouTube just yesterday, and I found the Japanese sub for Kirby Right Back at You, which is fact in rare cases the inferior version because the theme tune is not as good. But the clip I found, it was literally okay. So a bunch of fucking nerds had made they'd made a film, and they had turned the character Tiff into a fucking waifu.
Oh.
It was incredibly uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Dude, okay, so I watched...
It's what you expect to see on DeviantArt, just an adult...
Oh, yeah. No, that is...
Yeah, oh god.
Okay, I watched that show a lot when I was a kid. Okay, when I was a kid, my brain consisted of play Twilight Princess on GameCube and then spend 5 hours a day watching reruns of Sonic X and Kirby Right Back at You. I would flip between like 4 kids and then like another one that had Sonic X on it.
Oh, we didn't even have
that. Like the American version of that show is so much more tame than like the actual Japanese version of Kirby Right Back at You.
Yeah, they've got a shitload of things. I'm pretty sure, there's obviously, as I've said, there's sexual stuff. There's also plenty of alcohol and drug references.
Yeah, there are a lot.
I think is there even gore?
I have no clue. I haven't done a deep dive on it yet, but I want to.
I looked the other night. I know that there is so many fucking things that were censored.
Kirby using a fucking Uzi. I like that idea.
Oh god, that's actually in the show.
Yeah, it is.
Oh god, it is. Yeah,
Kirby's got a gun.
That wasn't even censored either. That was in like the second episode of the dub.
Yeah.
He just goes into the fucking sheriff's thing to try and get a job or something, and yeah, he just shoots up the place.
Yeah, he does.
That's great.
So getting back on topic though, away from Kirby having a gun. Yes. So any outside of the profound experience of the Japanese version of Kirby Right Back at You, do you have any other experiences with the Zelda series you would like to talk about?
I would simply put that it's the case with Breath of the Wild for me, just as a preface, is just when I first got back into Nintendo, that was obviously the first game I got with. I completely skipped Wii U. I'd almost forgotten about them entirely for about 2-3 years.
I skipped Wii U as well. I was like, it looks really cool, but it's just I can't do it.
I didn't.
Smash Bros was like the only thing that was ticking on my brain, and occasionally Pikmin 3.
You know,
But for the most
Yeah.
part, I'd almost completely forgotten about Nintendo for a long time. Then I got back in with Breath of the Wild, and quite frankly, when I first played that game, it was fucking magical.
Well, yeah, but
Yeah.
that's like the same thing could be said towards sex. First time it's magical. Every time after that, it's like, yeah, I mean, what's new, right?
that's where kinks come in.
Oh.
Well, I can tell you
Well,
the
that's a
I
podcast
can
for
tell you
another
the same
day.
work. I can tell you the same works with morphine.
Yeah, true.
It's always better the first time.
Well, I guess you would know as well, considering you've had to do
Yes.
it.
Oh god, it's amazing.
First time sex is clunky and weird, though.
If I had dealers, I would probably be a heroin addict.
Yeah. Also, real quick side little anecdote: the Wii U was the first console I ever bought with my own money.
Really?
Mhm.
You wanna know
Really?
The first console I ever bought with my own money?
What's that?
A refurbished GameCube with the Game Boy
Player?
adapter, disc, and then I think I had like this special controller. And it is currently residing at my stepdad's house, and he plays Madden 2007, strictly Madden 2007, because I asked him, I was like, did you like Madden 2008? He's like, nah, they mess with the button combos. And I was like, oh, okay. Can't argue with that.
Okay, boomer.
I
But
think
just, yeah, that's forever his.
I'm not entirely sure what the first one mine was. It was either an Xbox 360. We already had one, but I wanted one in my own room because I don't like going in my fucking brother's room. But I'm not sure if I actually paid for that or not, or if it came out of my mum's bank accounts. So the only definite thing I can think of is actually my first PC.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so I guess if that's all you have for experiences with the series, if there's anything else, we could move it over to Sleepy if you want, or if you have anything else you want to mention, go right ahead.
Nah, I can't think of much without going into more of a deep dive.
All right, well then, Sleepy, you go right ahead, because yours is probably going to be very long at a certain stopping point.
It is going to be quite the venture, because, as you know, one of my passions in life is to play all of the Zelda games.
Yes.
I want to play all of them.
I've already done it.
Beat them is iffy, but I want to try and play all of them.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna start probably, kind of like the same way the timeline does. If anyone knows about the Zelda timeline.
Oh
One-
yes, let me get the book out.
Actually, you know what? I have the book here too.
No, yeah, the book.
Fuck
I
it,
have the
I'll
book.
go,
but-
Let me
I'll
grab
go
it.
get
I
it.
gave
That
it
way we
to,
can have reference.
Yes.
One second.
Yeah. But I played the first Zelda game I played was Ocarina of Time on the N64. It was an OG cart, just like yours, Sean.
Yes.
But I let my friend borrow my N64, and she got cookie crumbs stuck underneath the fan on the bottom of it and completely
Oh,
destroyed the
man.
system.
That sucks.
Oh god, yeah.
But no, what was that?
I just remembered there's a fucking rip in the top of it.
Ha! Mine's pristine.
God damn it! I don't know how I did that.
Fucking nerds, both of you. But the next one I played was I can't remember if it was if it was either Spirit Tracks and oh no, yeah, it was. The next I played was Phantom Hourglass on the DS. And I was like, "Oh, this is magically rad." For like a
that
whole
of all
2
the
weeks
games,
until I
like,
100% completed it.
That's probably the most reviled of modern Zelda games.
It
Yeah,
it really is.
interesting.
It really is. And then I played Skyward Sword next, actually. And then I played Skyward Sword next for like once, but I didn't know it was a Zelda game. And then I had my GameCube with Twilight Princess. And that, my friend, is where things changed for me. If any of you watch the Let's Play channel that me and him are on,
Yes.
you guys would know that I'm a very, very big adamant fan of Twilight Princess. That is my favorite game in the series. And I've absolutely fallen in love with everything about that game.
Which is where my takes here come in.
But I personally think it is the best in the series, but because of its flaws, it's not like actually 100% the best. But for me, in my particular tier, I put it at number 1, and then I got like Minish Cap as number 2, and then Breath of the Wild is 3. Out of like how much I've genuinely enjoyed them.
Minish Cap is next on my list. I've got that ready on my Virtual Boy.
Ooh.
I've got Ocarina of Time at number 4 on that one. But I remember playing A Link Between Worlds. I liked that one a lot, so I went back to go play A Link to the Past, and I was like, this is great. I don't like you know when you've made a masterpiece of like a game trilogy or series, a saga for that matter, when you start off on a newer title in the series, but when you go back and you play the older ones, you're like, yeah, this is great. I can get into this.
Yeah. Yeah.
But
Yeah,
the
really
the
is.
entire
Because like you plop someone down in front of like Zelda 1 and 2, they're gonna be like, I don't know how to do this. I mean, I can try, but I don't know.
I'm gonna be
You
doing
plop
a bit
someone-
of talking on
You
Zelda.
plop someone down, like anyone, just a kid that likes Fortnite or something, right? You plop them down, you give them a SNES, you slap in that square card, it bedazzles them with that 16 bits.
Dude, that intro screen for
Yeah,
Link to
just the
Past,
intro screen alone is
so
enough to
good.
grab any kid's attention. You
Yeah.
leave,
Yeah,
leave
the,
them alone with that game, they're gonna love
It's
it.
like it's fantasy. It's an adventure.
It's like it's candy for my brain.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
the 3D games have aged pretty much as well as Stonehenge has.
Yeah, pretty much, yeah.
I'll talk about that in a minute.
Well, I don't know. I think the original Ocarina of Time, if you were to like trick a kid, could probably hold up, but not that much. Generally, this is actually really interesting. I think the original GameCube port of Twilight Princess did not age well at all.
I would agree with
Really?
that. You know what?
guess-
Actually,
I did-
unironically going to make the statement. I think the version of Twilight Princess that is aged the best is the Wii version.
Most definitely is the Wii version.
I know that it
100%
has.
agree with
I
that.
know it has the glorified A button press of just waggle the Wii remote for your swing, but honestly, outside of that, the pointer aiming controls for like the weaponry in that game are phenomenal. Epona, I think,
yeah.
controls fantastic, and they neutered like her controls in the HD re-release. And honestly, I would say the main thing that the HD remake just has going over it for over the Wii version is just looks.
Oh no, it isn't just looks. I played it back the original myself on GameCube recently, and if there's one thing that severely pissed me off while I was playing it, because I was going for 100%, right? Post holes are a bitch.
Oh yeah, no,
Oh
they
yeah.
are.
Oh yeah.
Actually, you
I
know
mean,
what?
it
I'll
isn't-
also give the HD remake credit for introducing the Poe Lantern, because
Yes,
yeah, that makes hunting them down so much better.
yeah. It's bad enough that you don't have any indication as to where they are. Like they could be hiding in caves, and you'll be none the wiser. But also the fact that they only come out at night. It
Yes.
makes
Yeah.
searching for them
Yeah.
the most tedious bullshit ever.
Yeah.
Because I remember having to 100% on the GameCube version, and dude, when he was like, "Yeah, just go find all of these," I was like, "Are you kidding?"
There's some you just have to know.
Yeah, there's some you have to know where they are. Like you played the game before, or someone's told
Yeah.
you.
Yeah, like there's one in Snow Peak somewhere that's just like unless you
Yeah.
are so
Yeah.
Oh,
unless you really are just like autistically backtracking through every single dungeon to find them, you won't get it.
That's the thing, is that like in Snow Peak Ruins, yeah, I would say that is the peak of horrible placement, because There's the one at the very entrance you need the ball and chain
In
for
the
because you
suit
have to
of
break
armor,
the
yeah.
suit of armor, and it unveils the Poe, and it's like, how in the hell was I supposed to discover that?
Yeah, like all the other ones in terms of dungeon placement that were fine. They were where you would see them. Like you would just run into them, and they would just be an extra thing you could get on the side. They were never hard to find. You just literally had to play the dungeon.
Yeah.
But yeah, then suddenly Snow Peak Ruins decides, oh, so we're already dicking over players with ice physics and the bullshit enemies. How about we hide a Poe in the worst spot?
Yeah. It really is like I would say the Poes are the biggest detriment to that game.
Yeah, they are a massive
I wouldn't say they're a detriment if they went about it a lot better than the way they did.
No,
because I mean, a lot of people give Ocarina of Time a lot of flack for the golden Scatulas,
and they're very well deserved for that.
And they are very well deserved for that. They
Oh,
did
yeah,
the exact same thing
that.
with the Pole Souls, but I think they actually did the Poe Souls a way lot better than they did the Scatula.
I think they did do them
bugs.
better because there's not as much cryptic bullshit for them, but there's still cryptic bullshit.
Oh
for
no, yeah,
some
there's.
of them.
I mean,
The thing
it's
is, you can-
Nintendo. It's
Yeah.
Zelda. There's gonna be cryptic bullshit anywhere.
Not necessarily, but
The thing about Poes and the thing that makes them better than Skulltulas is pretty much just the graphics in the sense that and how you find them because
Yes.
besides the ones you know, if you just go into wolf mode, you will see them from across the entire map.
yeah, you will.
Oh,
They
yeah.
have really good draw distance on them. I'll give them that.
Yeah, really good. I think the only time, right, like, come the end of my last playthrough, I was searching for the last Poe Soul incessantly. I'd had to go through Zelda Dungeon, of course, to find them all because it's ridiculous.
Which
And
shout outs to
then I got
Zelda
s-
Dungeon
Yeah,
for great guides.
Shout outs to Zelda Dungeon.
And the last one I was struggling to find, it was in an area I'd already visited and thought I'd cleared out all the Poe Souls. It was Gerudo Desert, because there was just one little spot in the corner where they spawn at night.
Yep. I know
Like,
exactly which one you're talking about,
It
too.
spawns on top of a cave as
Yeah.
well. It's just like, I already searched that cave.
But no, you gotta wait till night.
Yeah, the draw distance didn't even help me. I'm pretty sure it was at its limit because, it's Gerudo Desert. It's the biggest
Yeah.
flat land in the game.
Yeah, it is. And it's also, I think, one of the widest spaces in the game.
Well, wait a minute, because I just realized that's kind of like a plot hole. Think about it this way: if they're going off of the old adage of ghosts only show up at night because they're afraid of the sun or they don't have enough energy during the daytime to make a physical apparition that we could see.
Mm.
If that's the case, then you'd think that a cave that's pitch black
Oh, no,
all
no,
the
no, no.
time would allow ghosts to just freely be there at any time of the day.
Oh,
but
no.
no.
It was on top of the cave. It was on top of the entrance.
Oh, that one. Okay.
Yeah,
I
because there
remember
were
now,
in
never mind.
fact,
I
there were
thought
in
you
fact-
were talking about the one that was in that cave.
No, yeah, there were in fact two in the cave below. It's just like, yeah, I hit it. I
Well,
got
then
there
no,
at the
yeah.
spot
You'd
of
think a dark
daytime
cave
where
would be
it's
dark
just-
enough for them to be able to move around and do ghost things. But no. It was like, gotta wait until it's fucking midnight or some bullshit. What is this?
You know what they should have done? Because it kind of just doesn't make any sense to me that the pose just completely dematerialized from the world once it's daytime. They should have just had their spawn locations changed at night, as opposed to
Oh, yeah, instead of being set.
that would have been better, because then that wouldn't have happened to me. I would have just found that Poe in the cave that I searched, which would make fucking sense.
Yeah.
I think they should just be weird and just burrow into the ground. And then just when it's nighttime, they just pop out.
Ground ghost.
Ground ghosts.
Or, like, this wouldn't be the easiest way to find them, but maybe they could just leave their lanterns on the ground in the daytime.
Yes. Actually, you know what? That'd be
Ooh,
or like
yeah.
some trace that they were there, like maybe, I don't know, ectoplasm or some bull crap.
Or maybe like
Yeah,
faintly
yeah,
you
just
can hear the
floaty shit.
little jingle jangle of their lantern. So you know
Actually,
to come back.
now that I think about it, you know what would actually be really interesting is if there was a hidden wolf scent that you could get for imp pose specifically.
Oh yeah, because you can get the
But-
get the ghost smell,
yeah,
but
but-
they're not imp.
You know
Yeah, but
what?
instead of it being like traced to them, so you have all these lines everywhere leading directly to the ghost, have it so that you can just see like the faint waft of scent wherever they spawn. Something like
know what?
that.
Yeah,
I just thought of something spectacular they could have done for Breath of the Wild. They
What's
could
that?
have taken the wolf link mechanic of senses and the pose and combined that with the map and the general exploration style. You would have one hell of a collection quest on your hand, like
Yeah.
a good one.
Actually, you know what? Make it so
whoa.
you can sniff out the Korok
Hold
seeds.
on. Whoa. We're getting way ahead of ourselves, boys. You haven't even talked about anything about your relationship with Zelda games.
I know.
I haven't even finished mine.
All right. Well, then, before we get into improving the games, let's get back on track then.
Yeah, we're back on track now. I'm actually finished. I just want to give you a hard
Okay.
time. Now you go.
We're back on track. I'm done.
Now go.
Okay, so I'm done. I'm just kidding. So my relationship with Zelda is very weird. In that I started off with probably the worst possible Zelda game to start off with outside of Zelda 1 and 2.
What was that?
Majora's Mask.
I really don't believe that. I think Majora's
the
Mask
worst
was a
one
really
to
good
start
start to the
with.
series.
No, I mean as a kid.
Oh, definitely as a kid. Yeah.
Because if you want to
Yeah.
talk about horrifying games to play as a kid, Majora's Mask is terrifying. It is absolutely terrifying to play when you're like a 5-year-old kid. I think that's how old I was when I played it.
Well, hold
know
on, because I
what's-
actually have a question about
What's that?
Do you really think it's a detriment to kids?
No, because I think kids should like have that, have something that kind of scares them, so that way,
Well,
they
yeah.
can. Because one thing I will say that it really helped me with when I was growing up is it's like, oh, you face your fears. Because like the one thing I would do is like in Majora's Mask and Ocarina of Time, which I'll get to, is I would force myself to go up to like the Gibdos and stuff and start attacking them. At which point I would be like, freaking out probably and swinging wildly around. But I always had that thing of like, oh, I'm going to stand up to this, fucking Gibdo or whatever, because he's not going to push me around, but then he did. But yeah, no, I really liked Majora's Mask even as a kid. My main thing was that it was terrifying, but even as a kid, the story of that game engrossed me like no other game had before. Because I'd played Mario World and games like that, and all sorts of other bull crap and whatever. But I hadn't ever played like a game with a story like Majora's Mask before. So the whole idea of like, I'm a 5-year-old kid, and now I'm having to, think about the end of the world and impending doom. And it's just, oh, that's a lot. That's a lot to heap onto, just a young lad. So I, nice.
I didn't.
So what I did is, what was it? Oh yeah, so I played that game a lot, and then I got to Great Bay Temple as a kid, and I didn't beat that game. I didn't get past Great Bay Temple, and I did not beat that game until 2011, I think.
Really?
And I started
this
playing
is
it in
probably
like
why-
2003.
This is probably why you got through the Water Temple so easy, because Great Bay Temple is pretty much just 2.0 of that.
Yeah, and
Even
harder.
though it has a completely different water mechanic.
Yeah. So
God, even now that I think about it, even to fight the final boss of the Great Bay is even a pain in the ass.
Oh
Yeah.
god, yeah, fucking
Yorg.
Yorg.
Friggin' pirate name Yarg.
Mm.
But that's the thing is that I did the Great Bay Temple after all those years, and I finally beat it. But in that time, I grew very, 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 very familiar with everything pre-Great Bay, because I would just run around and redo every single side quest all the time that I possibly could do before Great Bay. I even did Ikana Castle before I beat Great Bay.
Damn.
Yeah, I went to Ikana Canyon because I got the hook shot from Great Bay, but then I couldn't figure out how to progress, so I just went over to Ikana Castle and beat that. And then, I couldn't do Stone Tower, obviously. But I would do, like, the stuff in Ikana Canyon, which, once again, terrified me. I got, like, masks and all that sort of stuff, and I'd redo the quest to get the masks and all that sort of thing over and over again. And so now it's like, you can pretty much put me anywhere in that game and I know it like the back of my hand just about. But there's also the fact that now Great Bay is no problem for me whatsoever. It's actually a very simple dungeon to beat, which is funny. It's just confusing at first to navigate, given how many pathways you're given at the start. But that being said, I went for Majora's Mask, and the second game in the series I played was Ocarina of Time. So I played them out of order. What is it?
Real quickly before you continue, this actually caught my attention. Castles are... Oh, sorry, I got hair.
Beard.
Yeah, definitely beard hair. Castles, when they're made, are intentionally... Like, their layouts are intentionally confusing.
Yes.
Right? So when siege is being laid upon you, if you're a king, you have at least 4 or 5 more minutes before they figure out which spiral staircase leads to your castle high tower to come and behead you. Great for surviving wars, terrible for recreating for video games. And that's why a lot of video games have very simplified castles.
Yeah. That is interesting to think about.
Except, because one of the very few video games that I know that does it correctly is Twilight Princess. To a degree, but you get the point.
Yeah.
You very rarely see how castles are supposed to be made.
There is that one section in it where you have like the fake tower that doesn't have the boss key, and then you have the real tower that has the boss key. I guess I could kind of see it there. But back to Ocarina of Time. Once again, there were aspects of that game that terrified me, and I still have like the original like 1.0 cartridge, and it's the gray version, so it's not even the gold one that's, super rare. It's the rarer gray cartridge version of the game.
I've got one myself. The problem is my N64 is broken.
Yeah, I need to get mine fixed too.
You just buy a new one,
Ocarina of Time came out the year
at Game Exchange.
That's true. Maybe
anything, just swap parts for your original to work.
Yeah.
Ocarina of Time came out the year I was born, and it's been in my household since I was 3. So.
Same. It's been in my household since I was 6 or 7. Yeah. So here's a fun fact though. I had this copy of the game. And it was, it already had a file on it because it was used. Ooh. It already had a file on it that had progressed to Adult Link. And me being a dumb kid, I just, played that file. I didn't erase it or start a new game. So I was thrown immediately into the Adult Link stuff without anything beforehand. And funnily enough, they hadn't done, the previous file had not beaten the Forest Temple. I beat the Fire Temple first. That was the first temple I did in that game. I didn't even do the Great Deku Tree.
You know something funny? I actually, after beating the Great Deku Tree, I went the opposite way and I did the Fire Temple next too.
You mean the Forest Temple? Well, you can't do the Great Deku Tree and then the Fire Temple.
You can't?
No.
Oh, never mind. I'm misremembering. I'm misremembering.
I was like, wait a minute, what?
No, yeah. But instead of going to the Water Temple like people usually do,
I
went to the Fire Temple first instead.
Well, no, you can do the
you can only do it so far until you need the part where you need the hammer to hit the switch.
Well, that's the thing, is that the dungeons can be done out of order. You can do it forest, water, fire. You can do it fire, forest, and water, or forest, fire, water. Ocarina of Time.
Yeah. Because there's that plate you need to smack with that hammer in the Fire Temple, and you can't go any further without it.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Or if you have the iron boots. But
no, you can't even do it with iron boots.
So it has to be that hammer.
It has to be the hammer, yeah.
Okay, then you can only go so far in the Fire Temple without doing water.
That's an interesting thing about Ocarina of Time, is that you can actually make it more non-linear than people give it credit for. Because you can do, the Forest Temple first, but then you could just jump straight to the Water Temple and do that. Mm-hmm. Then you can do the Fire Temple. Or, like I said, you can do the Fire Temple, Forest Temple, then Water Temple. Or the standard Forest, Fire, Water. The other thing you can do as well is you can do the Spirit Temple before the Shadow Temple. The only thing is that you have to do the Water Temple before either the Spirit or Shadow Temple.
Well, yeah, because completing the water temple is it's the clause you need to even get the shadow temple in the first place. Actually, I'm thinking back. Yeah, no, yeah, that opens up both pathways. Actually, I was just thinking about because I remember the fucking they wouldn't would they not let you through into Gerudo Fortress if you hadn't been in the water temple first?
Um, no, they will. You can actually get the Gerudo training grounds card before you even do the. I want to say, well, it would be really hard, but actually, I do think that you can get the Gerudo training card before you do the Forest Temple. So long as you have the hook shot, you can do it.
What's blocking you off from the desert then? Because the thing that's mostly in your way is, of course, the Haunted Wastelands, which you need the Eye of Truth for. But you can actually get that the second you're Adult Link.
Yes. The thing is that's blocking you from progressing is that you need the long shot to cross the Haunted Wasteland.
Oh yeah.
The long shot or the hover boots.
Wait. Yeah. Oh yes, of course, the hover boots. I was going to say that's an alternative, but yeah, you needed to beat the Shadow Temple for that. Right.
Mm-hmm.
I wondered why that was a thing. Actually, like I've gone through that so many times. I'm like, this feels completely mundane of a obstacle. But now, yeah, now you've made me think that was literally in place to stop that.
Yeah. Which is why, like I said, before you can do either the Shadow or Spirit Temple, you have to do Water Temple first because you need the long shot for both of them. But that's all you need for both of them. You can, like I said, do the Spirit Temple before the Shadow Temple. So, which I've never done a playthrough of that, but I might do that next time I play it. That's interested me of doing it as out of order as possible because I feel like that might actually add more challenge to the game because it's not super hard.
I'm planning on doing that with Majora's Mask when they get the chance. I'm going to do the
oh Lord, you madman, don't.
The 3-day cycle challenge. I'm going to try and beat the game in 2 cycles.
Oh.
Which is
good luck with that. You should stream it. I want to watch that.
Oh yeah. I would probably put in practice first is the thing because that is hard.
Oh yeah.
I think it would be probably. Well, I don't know, because you were telling me that a while back. What? I'm sorry, I spit when I spit.
No, I was just getting dust off.
That's fine. Dust.
It is dust.
Okay.
Doesn't matter.
Okay.
Continue with what you're saying.
Anyways, but no, yeah. Like I was thinking about it earlier too. Like, yeah, there's like the original Ocarina of Time. There's like you can make that very non-linear. You don't even have to do any of the main game. Like once you leave Kakariko Village, like you could just run straight to Lon Lon Ranch and just do all that.
Mm-hmm.
Or you could run straight to Castletown and do all that.
Yeah. And
then when you're Adult Link, like you could still do a lot more instead of focusing on like the main. Like you know how much time I've wasted fishing in that game.
Listen, man.
Fishing.
Listen, man.
Fishing.
Fishing is pretty dang fun.
Like
it's pretty
so
darn
more,
fun.
Especially with
so darn fun. I'm censoring
Majora's
saying
Mask.
darn and damn.
Like there's so much more you could do.
And damn darn.
And then just like the game right away.
You know.
Anyways, I think we should probably move on to talking about how we think Zelda.
I haven't finished yet.
Hold on.
We're a long podcast.
Oh, my bad.
Yeah, we're a long cast.
I thought you'd finished by now.
No, I haven't.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Dude, I've played every single game in the series.
So you're gonna talk about every single game in the series?
It's gonna be a while.
All right, then continue.
Okay.
My apologies.
Okay. Before I was so rudely interrupted. What is it? Darn. I like that, Joseph.
Darn.
But before or after Ocarina of Time, the next game I played was Link to the Past on the Game Boy Advance port.
Ooh.
I did not like A Link to the Past.
You didn't like it?
I didn't like it.
No.
I didn't like it when I played it.
It's okay. Would you not like it?
I really thought that was boring.
Really?
I thought it was a very boring game to play.
That's weird because a lot of people say like Link to the Past is like one of the most Zelda-y Zelda games.
I know, but I'm gonna get to all that later.
There's definitely gonna be.
I guess I can get to it now since I'm talking about it anyway. So, When I first played it, I didn't like it, and then I tried to go back and play it, and I still didn't like it. Then I tried like 5 years later, I still didn't like it, and then about 3 years ago, I was working out at my old job. And I was they let me play. I used to work in a gas station. They just let me play my consoles out there, which is pretty cool. And I booted up my 3DS, and it was like, you know what? I don't care if I don't like it. I'm going to finish A Link to the Past 100% and see what I think. So I did.
What do you think?
And I liked it. I think that both Link to the Past and Ocarina of Time are incredibly overrated, but that doesn't mean they're bad. I don't mean that they're bad by that. What I mainly mean is just like there are big issues, I think, with both of them, and I feel like a lot of people overlook A Link to the Past's issues more than they do Ocarina of Time's.
Well, yeah, because they look at Link to the Past, and now mind you, Link to the Past was like one, if not what most people would consider the very last. Very much is the last console 2D Zelda game.
Yeah. At least until Link's Awakening remake.
That's a toss up because of the Switch and how like it's a weird middle ground. It's a weird gray area.
Technically, the Switch is a console, though.
Technically, it's a console, but most people use it as a
console, actually.
You know what? Yeah, you're kind of right on that one.
Look, okay. I'll weigh in here and I'll play devil's advocate. It is marketed as a hybrid. It is treated as a console, but in all technicality's sake, it is in fact a portable.
Yeah.
And the simple reason being is that the dock is nothing more than a glorified USB.
Yeah, it's a charger.
Yeah, it's
a charging station.
It's just the portable. It just overclocks when you put it in the slot.
Yes, but it's a console and you know it. Anyway,
no.
So,
no.
What was it? Oh yeah.
All right.
But like that was like for them that's the last Zelda game they had until Ocarina of Time came and completely switched everything up. Like you gotta understand, the last Zelda, like one of the last Zelda games to come out before the 3D Switch was Oracle of Ages and Oracle of Seasons. If you like Link's Awakening and Link to the Past, you would like Oracle of Ages and Oracle of Seasons. And most importantly, if you like what is it? If you like I was right there, I'm sorry.
Oh god, I'm going through artwork. The people of Kakariko Village and Twilight Princess were their concept art, they're gremlins.
Yes, they are.
Oh yeah.
Barnes is disgusting.
If you like Link to the Past, then you're gonna like Minish Cap. But what the importance is that was like it. Everyone thought that A Link to the Past was the best Zelda was gonna get. And then they completely flipped the table, flipped the script, flipped the world, flipped your pants inside out, flipped all the stuff out your bag and put it all back in, zipped it back up and threw it underneath your bag. You know, little cubby pocket back in high school because people are assholes. They knew. And when it came out, it just changed. It changed for everyone.
Yeah. Also, that was a very good analogy.
Yeah.
Also, I'm looking at this artwork too. You're not wrong.
Yeah, look at them. Their nipples are misplaced.
Can we take a couple of photos and put it in the Discord?
Oh god, yes.
I will later.
Do it.
Because that's
also
great. They look like gremlin people.
Oh, good lord.
The concept art of Ganon across the series as well. Oh my god, there are so many designs I wish they'd used. There is a design from Ocarina of Time where he's basically a satyr. He's got the goat hooves and everything. It's fucking awesome. And then in Twilight Princess, he's just got this mega buff design, and he's got red hair coming out of his hands. He's a fucking werewolf.
Yeah, he does.
It's actually awesome though.
Also, might I add, by the way, best what is it? Oh yeah, best Ganon design in the series, period. Ocarina of Time. I think that it is the best Ganon design.
I'm trying to rack my head through
I'm
all
sorry.
of them.
I'm gonna have to give that to Twilight Princess.
No.
I think I.
No,
that's the best
honestly,
game.
I think Twilight Princess is the worst of the 3D ones.
Really?
Okay, now I'm gonna disagree with Stygian, and I'm gonna say that Breath of the Wild is the worst of the 3D ones.
Okay, well the only reason
No,
I think
okay.
he's the best is because for one, his hog form in Twilight Princess is rad as fuck. It is. You're being bullied by a giant beast.
Yeah,
Awesome.
yeah, but he looks stupid.
How does he look stupid?
Character-wise,
It looks way more believable than what they did for what is it? Zelda 2. Pig Ganon.
He's not in Zelda 2. That's Dark Link.
No, I'm talking about Pig Ganon.
He's not in Zelda 2 though.
Yeah, he is.
No, he's not.
The game over screen at the
die-
back.
Well, if you die, yeah, he's back, but
his character design for when he comes back is just like a fucking like he's a pig.
okay,
Like,
but
he's
I
a
mean,
pig dude.
I mean as
I just wanna like slaughter him and make fucking.
I mean
fucking
as a
out of him.
boss. And we're talking
Well,
through.
what about character design?
Yeah, but we're talking 3D. We're not talking about 2D.
Well, I'm talking about character design. Oh,
Okay,
okay.
yeah.
Out of the 3Ds, I would say that
I think Breath of the Wild's the worst.
Yeah, Breath of the Wild's the worst.
But Twilight
terms of
Princess is still
design.
second worst.
I don't believe.
Int-
so.
Ocarina of Time's the
I
best.
think he's the
Are we
best.
talking design purely
Yes.
aesthetic? Okay, then I have to disagree with Breath of the Wild. I actually really like how Ganon looks in that.
Thank you.
You mean Pig
I think
Ganon?
Twilight Princess is just that's just okay.
Thank
Putting
you.
them in order from all the ones I
you.
played. Twilight Princess is the worst. Then
Thank you.
Wind Waker. Then Breath of the Wild. Then Ocarina.
Okay, no.
And then I'll put Smash Ultimate at the top because that is just better
Just,
Ocarina.
that's Ocarina of Time, though. That's his
Yeah,
Ocarina of
I know,
Time design.
That's what I mean. Ocarina of Time is the best. And
Oh,
Smash
okay,
Ultimate
good.
made a better version of the Ocarina of Time.
Yeah, all right, then I'll accept that. But the thing is that I still think his Pig Ganon design in Breath of the Wild is awful.
I
It's
agree.
literally just a giant pink pig.
I very much agree.
Oh, if we're
I don't like
talking
the
the Dark
Pig
Beast
Ganon
design, fine. But if we're talking Calamity Ganon, like his spirit form and the fucking spider mech, I think he's awesome.
Spider Mech.
I don't like the spider mech.
I don't like the Spider Mech
fucking
either.
like it.
But what I will say though is that yes, we can at least agree that the pink pig Ganon at the end is the worst design.
Yeah, I don't really care for the pink pig.
Yeah. And Twilight Princess is second worst. Now moving on.
Yes.
The
only
Your face
worthwhile
right
thing
now.
is that
I'm
Pig
just
Ganon
saying,
in
it's a
Twilight
good
Princess, but even then,
design. All I'm saying is the beast form for Ganon in Twilight Princess is a rad boss fight.
It's not.
I like the idea of having to fight this giant like hog beast.
I do like the
It
idea.
makes more sense for him to be a hog beast in that form because if he's harnessing Twilight to take on a form for him to survive in Twilight, of course it would be a pig because that's what he was in the past. But at least it makes more sense here because he looks just like one.
Moving on.
Okay, fair.
We'll get to that later.
Before I
All right.
before I go full spurge.
And
we're gonna go
ballistic.
through the entire game. Don't worry.
Yeah. So what about Wind Waker Ganon? Wind Waker Ganon is Ganondorf. Oh, you're talking about Puppet Ganon? Okay. No. All right. Fuck. I gotta amend my statement. Okay. So Pig Ganon at the end of Breath of the Wild is still the worst. Pig Ganon in Wind Waker is the second worst. Twilight Princess third worst, and then Ocarina of Time's best. There we go. Fixed. Anyway, moving on. After A Link to the Past.
Wind Waker one's just a goober. Like you know
Yeah,
that face
yeah,
of,
I
like,
think
when
he's
he's
just a
in
Zelda
spider
boomer.
form. His
I
eyes
am
are-
a Zelda boomer. I won't deny. But I have a reason for it.
Yeah, he's stern in his Zelda boomer way.
Yes. These dang kids, these Zelda Zoomers.
Back in my day, I only had 64 graphics. And they're all blocky and polygonal.
Hey man, polygons are hot. Anyway, so you can quote me on that. So we're going to move on to the next game that I played, which was, no, it wasn't Wind Waker. It was Twilight Princess. I played Twilight Princess when it first came out, and then I got it on my Wii, and I liked it. And now I think it's pretty decent.
Okay, you brought this up, and then I need closure. I need closure, or else I can't move on to the spirit realm when I die. Why did they release it on the game on the Wii first, and then release it on the game?
Because new console.
I guess.
Wait.
But
Are we
why?
Twilight Princess, right?
Huh? Yes, we are.
Okay, hang on. I'm gonna double check this before I say it, but I'm pretty sure I'm right. 1 second.
It makes no sense to me on why that, and not only just that, but it looks worse on the GameCube.
Well, yeah, it's
Yes,
because the Wii is more powerful hardware, so
Well,
of
yeah,
course it's gonna
but
look
at the
worse.
same time, it would have been a much smarter play
That's
if
like this.
they
It's like
if they
saying
did it on the GameCube first and then re-released it on the Wii when it came out.
it's like saying the Switch one should run better than the Wii U one. It wasn't designed for it.
Yeah, actually,
Well,
that is a fun fact.
That is fair.
If I remember right, I think the Wii U version of Breath of the Wild runs better than the Switch version.
It does because it was originally designed for it. The Switch version is actually it's a port.
Yeah, and
they had to move it over to go with the launch titles because they needed something. That launch lineup was terrible.
yeah,
And yeah, that's probably why it suffers so much.
yeah, and in the middle of designing or in the middle of making Twilight Princess, they started developing the Wii, so they were like, well, we've got this new console being made, let's just take what we have and build it for this new console simultaneously with the GameCube. And then they just waited to release, and they gave Twilight Princess a release earlier on the Wii to sell units, basically.
Yeah,
like,
so here's the thing, right? I'm looking at it now. Obviously, the Wii one was a launch title. There was only a month's gap between them, which means obviously both of them were about ready, but because they wanted it as a Switch launch title, they sped the development of that particular one up a notch, probably. It was just a situation where they had to get it out at launch, otherwise people aren't going to buy their fucking Wiis.
Yeah.
Yeah, almost definitely.
And it's only a month apart, like literally just about a month. November 19th and December 11th, both 2000.
And yeah, that's the thing is that, like I said, they made it that way to sell units, and it actually came at the cost. It actually came at the cost of the Wii having a game-breaking glitch in it, where I think after the Bridge of Eldin gets destroyed, if you save, when it gets destroyed, the game will spawn you on the other side of the bridge, and you cannot progress. And they had to do a re-release patched version of the game. And the GameCube version, from my understanding, never had that issue.
Yeah, it never had that issue.
So,
by the way, we can all agree that we need the Zelda remasters on Switch, right? I just
Yeah.
had a look right at some of the releases of Twilight Princess. On December 5th, 2017, Twilight Princess was released on the Nvidia Shield TV.
Yeah, it was.
Exclusively in China.
Yep. And it actually looks pretty good.
Shut up. You are fucking with me.
No, that's true.
Is that for real?
Yeah.
The Nvidia Shield.
Yeah. But it's China exclusive.
Right, yeah. And yeah, it's fucking China because China.
Wow.
Yeah.
I swear, my favorite game of all time keeps finding new ways to fucking surprise me.
Twilight Princess, honestly, when I think about it, probably really appeals to the Chinese.
Let me bring up some images of it for you, Sleepy. But while I'm doing that, yeah, I basically think that Twilight Princess is decent. It's not amazing, but it's not bad. I think that it's a pretty solid entry in the series, and I know why Sleepy likes it a lot.
Well, here, can I talk just a little bit? I know I didn't go into length in my little section, but I need to clarify. The reason it's my favorite is because out of all of them, that game grew up with me. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I've only seen like a more childish aspect towards Zelda games because that's what they marketed towards. When I hit my young teens and I started playing that game was mature in the sense of I was as well. I was like probably 15 when I played that game. I've lived quite a bit of life up to that point, and I just saw the world differently, and I felt that it matured along with me. I got to see blood. I got to see stabbings. I got to see Link get very, very angry boy when he swings sword. It was great. and it took on more mature themes, but more importantly, it went in a more mature way about it. Like it didn't play like the game didn't play with you when it said that Ganon was so powerful that literally the council of our like the guys that are just powerful enough to understand the power that the very three beings that created us literally had to create a type of special barrier, stab him once with an ethereal sword that did not kill him. They had to banish this dude
to the Shadow Realm.
Yeah, banished him to the Shadow Realm. Like, banished him to the Twilight Realm. Because he was too powerful for the mortal world. They weren't playing around when Giovanni said that, Giovanni. When he said that my greed literally took over my body and made me become gold.
Giovanni.
It didn't play around when it showed you that these people would, like, the people of Kakariko Village were very, very saddened the fact that their children were just stolen by monsters. It didn't play around with you when Barney said that he watched everyone in that town be murdered.
Actually, there's a thing. I played through it recently, and I picked onto something that I didn't in my playthroughs as a kid. The thing with Kakariko, right? So you know that the kids start telling you the horror story about how the townspeople were massacred, right?
Yeah.
I never clued into this before, but so they start with the story. Remember the lady from the general store? One of those things came after her.
Yeah.
And like the mob of town then goes after her, and then they say, and what happened? She was already gone, and there were two monsters waiting. I didn't clue into that two monsters part until now.
Well, see, the interesting thing that the manga does for that actually is that they do show what happens in that scenario. The manga just straight up shows you what happens. So she gets carried off, and they turn her into one of them. So you're killing the townspeople as Link. Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's really messed up.
Like he's
like in the sense of like it didn't play around. It was like this is real shit, yo. Buckle the fuck up, dude.
It is alluded to you a lot throughout the story that Twilight people can get turned into monsters by it, and that pretty much solidifies it. Yeah, Zant gets a hold of you, you're becoming a fucking demon.
Yeah.
That's one way to put it.
Also, as a quick divergence, here's a picture of what it looks like. So the top one is GameCube, the bottom one's NVIDIA Shield.
That looks good.
Yeah, it really looks good.
Great.
Yeah.
Also, actually, having Sleepy tell me about what he's had with Twilight Princess. First of all, that's made me realize why I didn't initially like Twilight Princess. It's because I played Majora's Mask first, and I think you can stand with me here, and it's like, okay, it's a step down.
Yeah,
like
it really is.
If we didn't have Majora's Mask beforehand, we were like, well, this is just not it.
Well, here, actually, I have an interesting theory about Majora's Mask and why I prefer Twilight Princess over Majora's Mask, because I have played Majora's Mask and I very much like Majora's Mask, but
so good.
I think, and this is as I truly believe this, that when they made Majora's Mask, he wanted it to be for a mature audience, but I think he made it in just the right way that it wouldn't be good for an adult or teenage audience, but purely for that older child to younger teenage demographic. Like, it was made just perfect enough for it to really affect them the most.
Yeah. Mm. Well, one thing about it is that it was coming off the hype of Ocarina of Time, which was of course played by a lot of children, and they would then just go into the sequel, and suddenly it's a completely different atmosphere.
Yeah.
And what was it? It's actually you made me realize something else. Actually, one other part of Zelda's impact on my life. If we go back to that for a minute, I've actually realized how it kind of went for me. So I said I started with Ocarina of Time.
Yeah.
I eventually got into Majora's Mask when I went around my cousins and found it. Funnily enough, that game actually didn't scare me as much as Ocarina of Time did.
Really?
Yeah, it didn't. Like, I liked the game more from a gameplay perspective because transformation masks were fucking awesome.
Oh, definitely.
And I did just enjoy it generally more as a game. It took me until I was in my teens to actually properly realize all the dark shit going on in the background of the game. Like I never stuck around in final hours long enough to actually see what the fuck it did. But yeah, it was. Oh god. Yeah,
We
just
actually
gameplay.
had pulled up an image of the difference between the GameCube and the Nvidia Shield versions. Dude, look at this. Okay, so the one on the left is the GameCube, and then the one on the right is the Nvidia Shield. What is this? This is disgusting.
Oh, dude, I just looked and you've been posting Spawn Wave in your game in general.
The what?
What's it? Sleepy in the lounge chat posted a Spawn Wave.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
I fucking rate
nice.
that guy. Anyway, what was I saying? No, yeah, so yeah, I had the period where in my late teens I was playing Majora's Mask and Twilight Princess. I've made my opinion clear on Twilight Princess at that age. Majora's Mask was just all of it. And then I finally decided to get round to finishing Wind Waker. And that was a really fucking sad moment, actually, because from that point on, I kind of just realized, oh shit, my childhood's pretty much finished here. Like, I finished Wind Waker. It was pretty much a step back into childhood for a minute. And then when I got through the ending credits, I realized I've done it. I've finished them all. All the ones that I'd currently released. And suddenly it was just like, well, time to pretty much permanently move on to my Xbox then. Because I was pretty much done with Nintendo's library at that point.
Really?
Yeah, that was probably actually the point where I dropped Nintendo for a long ass time. Because like I say, the Wii was the last system I had, and I'd already played through all those games. I finished Wind Waker very late. But I'd blitzed through the entire library, and I had nothing left to do but move on to Xbox 360, which was having more releases I was interested in.
I feel that.
Huh.
So it was actually, yeah, finishing Wind Waker was actually a very, very sad moment.
Yeah, I can see that. But yeah,
Which is probably why Breath of the Wild was as big to me as it was, because, like I say, that was me introducing myself back into the franchise after so fucking long.
Yeah. For me, the main thing was, I think the biggest, funnily enough, outside of Majora's Mask, I think the biggest impact a Zelda game had on me, I did play Wind Waker after Twilight Princess, and I really enjoyed it. But the game that really, really had me, like, as a huge fan of the series, especially pre-release, was Skyward Sword. Skyward Sword.
Okay, now this is where I get to be like,
So,
I don't know.
This is where I take Storfus' side.
So, Skyward Sword, pre-release was some of the most hype it was like my first game I ever felt hyped for. Like, at the time, this is how, man, it's old. I feel old saying this, but at the time, I would get Nintendo Power, on each new, like, monthly release back when that was a thing.
Oh, did you ever get any of those e-cards?
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
Well, you know what? I used to have, I got in a package, or in a Nintendo Power magazine, I got a Wii Remote cover that turned it into an NES controller.
Oh, that's awesome.
And then it faded away.
Oh, that's sad.
Yeah. Anyway. Just quick sad moment there. But, I went from playing Wind Waker, Twilight Princess, all that, and I played Twilight Princess, but eventually, even as a kid, I figured out, I could just, like, flail the Wii Remote around it all, and I don't even have to, like, swing in the direction. I saw Twilight Princess. I saw Wii Motion Plus. I saw free-form sword fighting. I was like, yes! Give me! This is what I wanted from Twilight Princess. Give me. What were you going to say?
Okay. Let me start this TED Talk with... The only selling point that I feel that really drove that game home for a lot of people was the fact that it was, like, T1 arm movements with the sword. You swung the sword. You slayed the enemies. You get to scream, "Hiya!" at 3 a.m. while your roommates are trying to sleep. You did that. That was you. You got to be Mr. Link Man.
Yeah.
But the fact of the matter is there's still Link.
Yeah.
So there's a disconnect. for me at least, is I may be the one swinging the sword, but he's still the one doing the motion, killing the enemy. It didn't really I thought it was a nice idea, but the fact of the matter is it didn't really impress me.
Well, see, the thing is that I don't necessarily mind it because I think it leads to. I don't really care for it in the term of its motion control. I don't care about that. I think that it leads to very interesting. I think by proxy of motion control, it leads to very interesting combat encounters
Or maybe
and very
more,
engaging combat.
Yeah, more intimate combat.
Yes,
because you
quite
you
frankly
literally
the
have
most
to think about it
difficult
instead of just
franchise
smacking
has
a
ever had.
button.
Yeah. You have to think about your direction, your swing,
Yeah.
all of it.
You have to play some trickster shit on the fucking bokoblins.
That, or you could just slingshot them and win.
Oh yeah,
But on a first playthrough, you're not going to do that.
You're not going to do it on your first playthrough. Secondly, it's for scrubs.
Yeah. Also,
you want to fight him with sword, man to man.
Also, when it comes to people talking about the motion controls of the game, a really good video to watch about it as well is Neryl. He put up a video on he put up a video on motion controls.
Neryl's a good boy.
Yeah, and that video, he even shows a demonstration of playing Skyward Sword. And the guy that's playing it, he has the Wii remote, and nunchuck. He has both of them right next to each other, and all he's doing to swing the sword is literally just a quick flick to the left, quick flick to the right, overhead flick.
You don't
literally
have to
moving nothing but his wrist.
You just twist the wrist.
Yeah, you just twist the wrist. You don't have to do the flailing around that so many other people say you have to do. No. That was literally just in the advertisement.
If you're flailing around, you're doing it wrong.
Well, yeah, that's the thing, is that the flailing around...
Hold up, stop. That was the selling point.
No.
That you could be the guy flailing around.
No, they just did that in the advertisements.
But no, that's...
Well, yeah, I mean, it's a selling point.
Well, yeah, when you're advertising something that no one's ever seen before, holy shit, A1 movement? How am I supposed to do this properly? And they see some Chad on fucking TV with his golden Wii remote being like, yeah! And Link doing the exact same thing. They're like, that's how you play. That's how you get fully immersed. You are the Green Man now.
Well, this
that was the selling point. And to go against that doesn't really make any sense to me, because that's what they were going for.
It's what they were going for.
Their hearts.
It's what they were going for, and the thing is, this is part of the entire Wii's marketing around motion
to get
control.
fit, get active. You're moving. You are part of the controller now.
And the thing is, that was all part of their advertising and everything, but it was incredibly over-exaggerated. Their marketing was really not spot on at all.
No. I think it's more of a case on bad marketing than it is on the game itself.
Well, but you gotta understand, a lot of people thought that was how you played.
Well, that's what I'm saying, though, yeah.
Because that's the only way they showed you how to play it.
Go ahead, Stygian.
If you want to know why the Wii was a dust collector around the last part of its life, or even the midpoint of its life, really, it's because all that advertisement had set up so much hype for motion controls, and then when people find out it's just waggling or moving your wrist, it's kind of shit in comparison.
Yeah.
Especially if you're trying to do these things, which, like I say, if you try to do these things in Skyward Sword, like I initially did, you'll end up hurting yourself.
Well, yeah, and that's...
I damaged the fucking tendons in my arm when I did that.
Yeah, and that's the thing, is that not only does it lead to, things like that happening, it also leads to, the controller becomes decalibrated very fast because of that.
Because you're flailing around like a spaz.
Yeah, and it's gyro, so there's no anchored point. It's literally just the controller, going off of a gyro control. The other thing, though, is that about the marketing is that the thing is that was just a running trend throughout the Wii's entire marketing. Look at the ads for Wii Sports Resort.
Oh yeah,
look at what they did.
They were getting into.
Well, yeah, that's the thing. You look at the tennis ad, and they're swinging their arms back and forth, when literally all you need to do to even swing the fucking tennis racket is just flick.
Well, hold on, no, because the thing. Actually, no, stop. Because the thing about Wii Sports is that it's all about the subtleties of the Wii remote. You move the controller slightly to the left, your character moves slightly to the right, like real tennis. You actually bob.
No, they auto move.
No, you do that.
I'm
You
pretty
can,
sure
you
they
can
auto
do
move.
that. You do. That's what you do. They
I would
don't
not be able to
They
clarify
don't
this,
auto move.
but
It's the
either
same thing
way,
with bowling. You have to you can actually
Well,
gently turn
that's-
your bowl to the right.
Well,
and move
that's
it.
how that's how bowling works, but I don't remember tennis working that way.
No, that's how tennis works.
Go ahead, Stygian.
I can't clarify, but either way, I would say this is about as much interactivity with motion controls as a real-time card game.
Yeah.
Like down to the
Yeah.
flicking.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll agree.
So yeah, that was kind of the problem, and it's why so many people probably have issues with the motion controls of Skyward Sword, because they went in with that advertising.
Yeah, and like I said, it's not entirely on the game; it's more on the marketing for it.
Mm-hmm.
Now, what I will say though is that do you have to recalibrate the motion controls and stuff for that game? Yeah, you do.
Only when I'm AFK for more than 10 minutes.
Yeah, but honestly, I think my first playthrough, I remember calibrating it only like 4 times.
I only had to calibrate it throughout the course of the game while I was playing it like twice.
Yeah. So that's the thing, is I never, when people said, oh, the motion controls, they constantly desync and all that, I never understood what they were talking about because I never had problems with it. The other thing of them saying, well,
Maybe
you have to
get a better
constantly
remote.
point the Wii remote at the screen because you have to keep your, you have to keep the sword aiming, and you have to keep, like, or if you want to aim the bow and stuff. And actually, fun fact, that game does not use pointer controls at all.
Nope.
No, it's completely gyro.
Yeah,
you do not
completely
need the
gyro.
So
pointer
you can
thing.
have your Wii remote completely 180 away from the screen, and you can still aim your bow accurately, so long as you know how you're moving your gyro aiming. And the thing is that it has an auto-calibrate system in it where you literally just hit down on the D-pad and boom, centered.
Oh god, that thing is so fucking useful.
It's incredibly useful.
The game would, like, could you imagine actually how much the game would suck if that was not a thing?
Oh, it would
Like,
be horrible. I would hate that
It'd
game.
be horrible. I would despise it.
Yeah. But I don't have any problems with it because it works.
Well, here, you want to know why
They
it
had
works so
every
well?
feature.
Because when you start when you're using the bow and it does that little zoom in and shows the target, it slightly slows the game down just a little bit so you can focus better.
Yeah.
So it's built from the ground to work that way.
Yeah. Also,
But hold on, real quickly.
go ahead.
Because I know you brought up the sword and you knew my big gripe with it. Yes, you can just point your sword to the ground or any way you want to have it in a more natural position, but if you ask me, it makes it look wonky.
No.
Like, I think as Link's running or is in movement and not in combat, it should have an at rest, kind of waggling, kind of moving with his arms, kind of more natural movement other than just stiff board.
Well, you can just put the sword away, though.
Well, yeah, but it's more of like a, okay, well, would this gamer think to do that, or would we be nice enough to already do that?
I mean,
Well, it's a fact. It's a fact of the matter that the Wii remote isn't really going to be able to accurately register that. As long as you've got the thing out, you'll
Well, that's
probably
fair, but I'm
going-
sure there's a cutoff
to be
point at
moving
some
it.
point that they could have done. I mean, if it
could have maybe, but
I can
then
understand that resyncing is definitely going to be an issue with that, but I mean, still, it just looks so weird.
I can kind of agree that if you're at rest, it looks incredibly weird. But
Yeah, it
at the
does.
same time, I think this is something where it's a question of whether they could really do it or not.
Yeah, fair. I'll
Without-
give them
especially
that.
since it was a
impacting
new
the rest of the
technology
game.
at the time.
That Nintendo's coding is spaghetti already.
Also, going into the recalibration thing again, if this was an issue for people, is that an issue with the game or is it an issue with your fucking hardware?
Yeah, that's the
fair.
question: is where do you make that cutoff point?
Maybe
Also-
you get a better fucking remote because the rest of us aren't having issues.
Also, Stygian, I'm wondering if during this stream, if we're going to make Sleepy based and Sky pilled.
No, you can't Skypill me. You can't. I'm very, I like the game. You have to understand, I like the game. The story is good enough for me to continue playing it. The graphics are good enough for me to
understands
not
the
throw
thing.
fit for the Wii. As much as I don't like how weird it makes him walk and run, I can get over the sword thing, but it's just how that game was handled pre-launch.
What do you mean?
It's
Like
just,
the E3 conference?
no, just more or less of like, okay, here's it is. You're Green Boy now. You get to do the big swings. You get to do the.
Oh, you mean
hiyas.
like the marketing?
Yeah,
Still?
and then literally when
Alright,
you
yeah,
play
so
it,
yeah,
you're
once
sitting
again,
down in your room, pointing your just literally like they say you could do this, but if you do that, you lower your experience of the game and you can hurt yourself. So if you don't do that, you're literally going against what the game was like
Yeah.
advertised and marketed to do.
Once again, like I said, I place that primarily more on the company and their marketing than the game itself, though. But I can understand how that would still affect your.
Those two go hand in hand. Because, yeah, of course you're going to think, oh, well, advertisements always lie. Well, yeah, no duh. But advertisements are very important for people who don't have YouTube or people who don't, like, who are exposed to a video game by just watching TV. And they're like, oh, looks that really cool. I have one of them dang old fangled Wii machines. Why not I get it for my young son, Billy, right? And then Billy's like, how the hell am I supposed to play this? I don't know anything about this. They look at the TV and they're like, oh, I'm Mr. Green. I go, yeah. And I swing and I smack it and they're dead. That's how they picture themselves playing the game, and that's how they play it. But ultimately, because of the way the game is if they try to play that way, they're lowering their experience. So if you play it the way that's the most efficient, it's not you're inadvertently lowering your experience. You're inadvertently making it less than what it is because it feasibly can't be what it's trying to be.
I didn't see any of the marketing when I first played Skyward Sword.
See, actually, that's going to be the huge disconnect with me from you, Sleepy, is that the only marketing that I ever saw for Skyward Sword was nothing but Nintendo Power.
I saw all the commercials every single time.
I did not and still do not have.
You know what? We're gonna here.
No, I've seen the advertisements.
Let me make a recommendation to any future parents that may in fact be watching. Do not give your kid Skyward Sword unless you yourself know how to play it, because they are going to hurt themselves.
Yeah. Well, see, that's the thing.
Will bang their fucking head.
Well, that's the thing, right? Is that I only had Nintendo Power to go by when it came to advertising for the game. I didn't have anything else. So when it came to me playing the game and all that sort of stuff, I hadn't seen any of the commercials. I didn't have YouTube at the time. I didn't have cable TV, and I still don't have cable TV. The thing is that when I, was first what was it? When I first played it, the thing I did, I flailed my arms around and stuff, but then I realized that the controller's getting disconnected and all that, and I was trying not to unplug the nunchuck from the Wii remote, tear it out, So, that was a concern of mine. So I ended up trying, just as a kid, experimenting and trying less flailing and more just flicking, and I found that worked. So I never really had a huge issue with it. Go ahead.
The link for the commercial is in the Discord.
Okay.
So if you guys are in it, feel free to go ahead and go check it out. If you're not in the Discord, we will post another link to it at the end of the stream.
Well, have to be right back.
Have to be right back. But we can go ahead and do a BRB right now.
Yeah, and just we'll do it in a couple minutes.
Yeah.
Because I can wrap mine up real quick, and then I'll be so. Skyward Sword, though, I ended up really loving the game. I love the story, the music, all of it, basically. I like a lot of it. I can't wait to talk about it. And then we're gonna jump back really far, and I played Zelda 1.
Oh, yeah, you went back. Yeah, you're telling me you went back and played Zelda 1. You're like,
I despise Zelda 1, and people that say that it is a good game to this day are liars.
If Breath of the Wild took anything away from Legend of Zelda 1, it was probably only the good parts.
Yeah, it really, because that game, yes, I'll say it's a classic and all that, and yeah, it pioneered the adventure game fantasy genre, but it sucks. It sucks nowadays. It's aged very, very, very poorly.
Yo, Zelda 1 and 2 remakes? Where are those at?
That's what I'm saying.
It pioneered something that Zelda games were, plagued with for fucking years, which was 100%ing material was impossible to do without a guide. If you wanted to 100% a Zelda game, you would either get a guide or spend hours and absolute fucking hours of frustration trying to find something. Because up until probably about, I'd say, yeah, actually about when Skyward Sword came out, 100%ing a Zelda game was walkthrough required.
Yes.
Most
Like,
definitely. In
there's a
fact,
reason
earlier,
ZeldaDungeon.net
oh my
is
bad.
so fucking popular.
Yeah, earlier Nintendo Powers actually just gave you.
Yeah.
Just,
Oh, yeah,
like,
Nintendo
gave you
Powers
And
as well.
fun
because they
fact,
knew it was hard.
fun fact about Zelda 1 is that they actually, in the manual of the game, when you got it, all the way back in 1986, they gave you a guide in the manual, a miniature guide. It wasn't like a full guide of the game and how to beat it, but they gave you a guide on like things, telling you that there are secret walls and secret bushes and all that sort of stuff, and all that sort of thing throughout the game. And they what was it? Oh, right. I think they realized partway into the development of that game that people probably aren't going to figure this out because there's no clue that this is a secret wall. So yeah, that game is full of poopy design. I don't like it. It's poopy.
But I can also understand why it's made that way. Because when you bought cartridges at that time barely had any information on it. Anything at that time barely had any information on it because it was all early tech, right?
Yeah.
So you bought a game, like even going back to Atari games, like they're short. A lot of them, they're trying to not make arcade games anymore. They're trying to make games that have longevity for you to not go to the arcade but stay at home and play these games. So they make them absurdly hard. Mainly for the fact of since they're so hard. It makes you feel like you've wasted enough time that you got your money worth.
Yeah.
Like you look at Contra, like the console port of Contra. They had to give you that cheat code or that game is not fun.
Well, and that's the thing is that I will preface this all the time. I understand that for the time, I understand the design and the idea they're going for. But as of now and its age, it's poor. It is poor design, especially by today's standards. And if I'm, talking about a game or reviewing a game, I'm holding it to today's standards. I don't care about the age. I will point out what is a flaw or looks bad in hindsight.
You want to know why I think they did that? Why they made Legend of Zelda the way it was? Free marketing for their other products. Like, that got people to buy Nintendo Power because they needed to know how to fucking get through it.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, the other free advertising,
I see what you're saying.
Friends literally going around asking their other friends, "Do you know how I can beat this fucking thing?"
And then being like, "Yeah, I do, but I don't like you, Todd, because you didn't come to my birthday. So go buy your own dang old stinky old Nintendo Power, you radless cunt."
Yeah.
Like this is what Dark Souls did, but well.
Yeah, it is. And that's the thing is that funnily enough, I actually just recently beat Dark Souls through the first time a few months ago. And it really, the design contrast between that and Zelda 1, because I know that Zelda 1 was an inspiration for that game. The design contrast between the two of how Dark Souls 1 kind of very, very subtly guides you toward where you need to go versus Zelda 1, which is just like, figure it out, dick.
It literally is just like that. It's like, figure it out.
Yeah.
Figure it out.
Yeah,
meanwhile, the narrative, on the other hand, is just, oh god, it's fucking Majora's Mask, man.
Yeah, it is. And so when it comes to that design, it honestly it's unfair. It's unfair in a lot of spots, such as you can open up like a secret cave, like blow open a wall or blow open a bush, and the first one you find, it's got a guy that'll give you a heart container. And you take that heart container, that's a permanent upgrade. So you're like, I want to find more secret walls and all that sort of stuff. So then you find another one, and guess what? It's a guy that will take away your heart container permanently. You can't get it back. It's a permanent degradation on your health. And the game is just like, fuck you. For secret hunting and adventuring, fuck you.
You don't get to have fun.
Yeah.
Here's punishment for exploring.
It's just straight up unfair.
You get nothing. Go away.
Yeah, you get nothing. Go away. Yeah. So, that being said, I played the later games. I'm gonna basically just brush over this because we'll be here forever if I keep going on about every single game I played. But I, continued on playing. I played Zelda 2 next. I played Link to the Past again. The Oracle games, Link's Awakening, all that. And my overall consensus with the series is that I like 3D games more than 2D games, but I have grown a soft spot for the 2D games over the years. I think the DS games have aspects of them that are severely underrated, but that they are definitely jank in areas.
How so?
They're
Jank, how
incredibly
so?
jank in areas.
Mainly, I don't think the controls are terrible, but I think the constant revisiting the same area in both of them. By the way, you have that design.
Yeah.
That is very annoying. If you didn't have to revisit the Temple of the Ocean King and the tower for trains or whatever it is in Spirit Tracks over and over and over again in those games, I think they'd actually be solid entries in the series.
Spirit Tracks remedied this a lot more because, first of all, the controls were a lot better. Just straight up, they only made a few changes and they just made everything so much better. Like fucking spinning for rolling. What the fuck?
Yeah, that was really weird.
That was terrible.
Yeah.
As in regards for the tower, I would have to say, yeah, you are revisiting it, but I remember the first one is just a basic setup, and then you go to the next one, it's like, holy fuck, it's dark everywhere.
Well, it's also remedied in the fact that you don't have to start from the starting floor every time.
Yeah, they went with the exact same design philosophy in mind, but they improved it immensely.
Yes.
Spirit Tracks is a good fucking game compared to Phantom Hourglass.
And it's funny because everybody shits on it. Yeah.
Well, if there's one thing I want to shit on it for, it's that 100%ing it is probably the worst experience I've ever had 100%ing a Zelda game. Because it's not even that it's hard, it's just tedious as fuck.
Yeah,
it requires so much train travel, and it's legitimately worse than Wind Waker's travel.
Yeah, and that takes...
It's fine just traveling on its own sake, when you're actually going to the dungeon, because they actually give you a lot to do on the travel itself, which is good. But when you actually have to do it, when you have to do it for 100%ing, it's just tedious.
Yeah, it takes forever, especially if you're going for those rabbits, man.
Yeah, oh my god, the fucking rabbits. Fuck the rabbits.
But yeah, continuing on though, yeah, I like the DS games to a degree. And then Breath of the Wild, I think, is one of the most overrated games as well. But
it really
I enjoy it. That being said, though, do you want to do a Be Right Back? And then we'll continue on with our next segment?
Yes, because
I'm gonna go have a piss anyway, so yeah, works for me.
Have some counsel with the great white one that lives in the bathroom.
Yes.
Yes.
That's a very interesting analogy for a toilet.
Oh, I have some better ones. Going to battle with the gravy goblin.
But all right. With that being said, we'll be right back. Don't go anywhere. I don't know how long the BRB segment's gonna be, but we'll see. And we hope you all stick around for a little while.
It'll be like a few minutes. Yeah, you won't be waiting that long.
And that's about it. right, welcome back, everybody, to the podcast that you all enjoy. Hopefully.
We would also like to take a quick minute to read out the active feed.
Yes. I would like to thank the Devious Chimp for following and Anubis for following.
Thank you guys so much for following. It means a hell of a lot to us.
Yep. That puts us at 13.
Certainly does.
It's pretty nice.
On the road to affiliate. Let's go.
Only 47 more. Or no, 37 more.
Yeah.
No?
Yeah. All right.
How dare you assume
Gotta
I
live
enjoy
in
it.
your basements forever.
Yeah. I really hope that you guys don't mind that we're not necessarily like... I am reading chat, but not reading out chat. Mainly just because I don't want to disrupt the conversation. But do know that I am reading it. And so is Sleepy.
Mhm.
So
Don't worry. We'll get a moderator that'll be able to sync with us pretty well, and he'll he or she will be able to answer you guys in chat more frequently than we will.
But hey, Storfia Dangus. All right, Joseph. I see how it is. Stygian.
Actually, if you guys don't, if you two don't mind, I would actually like to go ahead and open up the conversation to chat. Do you guys have any experiences with Zelda games?
Oh yeah,
that
you know.
you guys want to share?
Yeah, and
Let's
I'll
have just chatting for a few seconds.
yeah, I'll read it out in just a minute.
Big now, there will be screaming.
Whee!
Ow, God. Speaking of which, ow, fuck, something hurt.
What?
I don't know.
Okay, that's never a good thing.
Yeah, that's never a good thing with you.
It's never, ever a good thing.
Never ever.
Yeah.
That's a good
At
series.
least it can't
Is
be
it?
disease, thank
Yeah.
God. That would be something else.
Well, you showed me never ever.
Oh, I did show
Yeah.
you never ever.
Did you see that he did a live stream with Hungry Box?
I did.
Yeah.
That was great.
Yeah, it was. Let's see here. I don't have much in the way of nostalgia for the series, but I like what I've played of it. And I sort of want to go play Majora's Mask again after watching this. Dude, same.
Dude.
Is Gorman Racetrack the best track in the series?
Yes. No, but yes.
Oh no, it is. It is pretty good.
Yeah. Ocarina of Wind Waker,
that's
Phantom Hourglass, Breath of the Wild, Ocarina was my childhood boy. I played Twilight Princess, Phantom Hourglass, and Spirit Tracks. I kind of like Phantom Hourglass, to be honest. I don't mind it. It's got good ideas. I just think that there's some aspects of it that are just ugh, that keep me from going back to play it.
You know, as far as if we're on the topic of Majora's Mask and Twilight Princess, I'd honestly argue that Phantom Hourglass is darker than Twilight Princess.
Yeah, it is arguably.
The
I'll
antagonist
agree.
Is a
I'll agree.
soul-sucking demon like Jesus Christ. He
Yeah.
just-
I just wish
steals
that
your
Bellum's
soul.
design wasn't so goofy.
Oh yeah, it's big-eyed octopusy.
Yeah. Let's see here. Also, I want to play Majora's Mask now. You need to play it, Joseph. You need to play it, or else you know what'll happen.
And don't play it through the collector's edition of the GameCube. It's terrible.
No, don't. Yeah. If you're gonna play a version, play the 64 version.
Yeah, like
Um,
emulate it on Project 64 if you can. Also, yeah, don't play the remake on 3DS either. Again,
Yeah, no.
it's bad.
No, stay away
They
from that
ruin-
one.
They ruin so much.
I have played part of it. Oh fuck, I have it on the GC. I had fun shield sliding down Death Mountain and Breath of the Wild. Yeah, I did too. Emulation man, bad. Ree! Yeah. Actually, you know what? Speaking of emulation, Nero actually has a pretty good video on emulation as well.
He has two very good videos.
Yeah,
on
he
emulation,
does.
Actually.
Yeah.
Gosh, yeah, I need to
Stygian,
check out
that
more of
emote's
Nero's
amazing.
It's fish
Yeah, it is.
again.
Stygian helped me in my current game of Stellaris. The opening of that video cracks me up every time.
Look, nobody just kill the Xenos. It works.
It just works.
It just works.
But yeah, so what was the next segment that you wanted to do, Sleepy?
The next segment we will be moving on to is where we think the series went right and where we think the series went wrong, but I've decided to change that to primarily talk specifically about 3 titles. Well, really 4. But mainly Breath of the Wild, and Skyward Sword, and Twilight Princess. But I do want to go ahead and bring in a fourth spot for either Ocarina of Time or Majora's Mask,
You know
but
it's
not
Majora's
both.
Mask.
But not both.
You know it's Majora's Mask.
Are you good with Majora's Mask?
I feel that's
Yeah.
kind of
Okay,
Yeah.
because we're gonna start with Breath
that's
of the
kind of
Wild.
necessary.
You
'Cause
have
that's one of the
two.
biggest divergence of the series.
Yeah, you have two huge Majora's Mask fans that you're talking to right now. So
I'm just
Both
opening,
of
I'm
which
just
agree
opening it
that-
up. I'm just opening
Both
it
of
up.
which I'm pretty sure agree Majora's Mask should be the standard for the franchise.
yeah, we do.
But as anyone who knows me personally knows, I'm a professional complainer. So I would like to start, but mainly I want to start with Breath of the Wild. I think the idea of going back to grassroots, going back to the original, looking at what they liked the most and what people liked the most out of that, and just making it 3D, which some people would even go as far to say is Breath of the Wild, is Zelda 1 brought into 3D world.
Actually, you know what? There's an interesting thing about that. When they were talking about the development of the game pre-release, something that the development team did is they actually took areas of Breath of the Wild and they originally crafted them in Zelda 1.
Whoa, really?
Yeah, there's actually footage out there of Breath of the Wild in Zelda 1 graphics, like 8-bit.
Wow.
Oh god,
And-
yeah,
yeah.
I've seen that.
Yeah, they originally made it in that to try and capture that same, feeling and that same imagery.
Huh.
And then they transitioned it into 3D and built the area.
That is awesome.
Yeah.
I
It
would have
was-
rather have played. Dude, it would be so cool if they actually released that.
As a demo.
Not even just as a demo, but made like the entirety of that game in 8
Breath of the
bits.
Wild demake.
Yeah, like a legitimate actual demake.
I'm
Is
sure
that-
someone could
Or
probably
better
do it.
yet,
Uh,
have
I
it be
can
re-released
tell
the
you,
same way they
actually.
did Sonic Mania.
Yeah.
I can tell you actually, someone has done it, but it was not Nintendo, and therefore it got it
got
got
the
banned.
hammer.
Yeah.
yeah.
Oh man, that sucks.
There's a lot of really good games that got just squashed by
Rip Am2R.
Rip Project M.
Yeah.
Or Project M.
Yeah. So
Oh, we got Ultimate now, so it's
Yeah, for real. Right?
yeah, that's true.
it's like, do we really want to go back now?
What was it? Oh right. But what were you saying about Breath of the Wild?
Oh yeah, but
Yeah.
that I like the idea of open, like just freedom, open exploration. Anyone who knows me is like, I love games that I can do that. Give me a game where I'm not completely stuck on a path. Let me have like some wiggle room, dude.
Mm-hmm.
Let me have some wiggle room. Let me breathe a little. I love the ability to just be able to go wherever I want in the game. If I see a mountain, I want to climb it. I climb it. It's great, and the game lets me do that. Like, it works in its world. Other than Skyrim, where you see a mountain, you're like, oh, I see a mountain, I want to climb that. You have to do the weird Bethesda mountain climb.
Mash spacebar
where
to
you
jump.
just mash like spacebar, or if you're a
Oh
console,
god, yeah, it's so
plebeian,
fucking janky.
Y or X until you get there.
Or you just get a horse which have the fucking
yeah
Yeah.
90
Gravity's
degree
like-
angles.
gravity is like 10 times on them or something because they can just glue to the side of the mountain.
Also, Pyro, see that mountain? You
Yeah.
can climb that.
Yeah.
Same, God, that is what Breath of the Wild had going for it. The mountain climbing was on point. except
But
the
here,
constraint.
let me wrap it up by saying that the main gripe that I have is because it's so open ended and you can literally do anything you want anytime you want. I feel that it comes up like it's hollow in the sense that it comes up just short.
Yeah.
Like it's just a little too empty.
Well, see, actually, here's a fun fact also about the climbing.
Especially for like what's a civilization that's supposed to be like rebuilding itself after 100 years.
Well, that's another interesting thing about about that game is actually, funnily enough, you can completely cheese the climbing.
Oh, you really can.
So if
Oh,
there's
God,
the
yeah.
slightest slope on any mountain, all you have to do is
Press
just
B
let
and
go,
start
and you
running.
can just move up,
Yep.
and it conserves your
no,
stamina meter.
everyone, like, the thing is, I'm pretty sure nearly everyone's discovered this who climbed in the rain, because this was essential for climbing in it.
That's the other thing. Please, in the next game, please tone down
Get rid of rain.
Tone down the rain. I hate it. I hate it so much.
Terrible.
But maybe it's a good thing, because you hate raining in real life.
Either tune down the rain.
It's a nuisance. That's what it's supposed to be. It's a nuisance.
Either tune down the rain, or if I could make a recommendation, give an item that allows you to climb during it.
Yeah, give me like a set of armor that'll let me climb it.
Like, they could do it in the start of the game. If they're trying to follow in Breath of the Wild's footsteps, right? They could have it so you're in the starting area, it's constantly raining, and you can't climb up the cliff sides, right? Have you unlock an item like you did on the Grand Plateau, and use that to get out.
Actually,
Essentially, an inverse of Breath of the Wild's opening section, where you have to get the sail.
Actually, Joseph brings up an interesting point in chat as well of climbing axes.
Oh God, yeah, that would be fucking awesome.
Yeah.
Dude, you could fight on the cliff sides with that. How cool would that be?
Well, here, check that. Well, wait, hold on. Check this out though, because for the game, they actually have like rock climbing gear for you to wear. That's supposed to make it easier. You should have just gave us rock climbing tools.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Instead of making a suit where it's like slightly easier, slightly better to climb, just give us some tools.
Well, the only thing that the climbing set does actually is it only makes it so you climb faster and you use less stamina.
If you upgrade it to tier 2, you also get a stamina reduction on jumping, which speeds it up immensely.
Yeah.
Which is really what you want to do. Like, the rest of the time, it's negligible. But yeah, you get the upgrade and suddenly, you can just speed up those cliffs.
Yeah, you really can.
Nice.
But also, another disappointment about Breath of the Wild for me was the DLC.
Yeah.
Yeah,
the DLC was a big sad.
Also, can we talk about how much of like a fall flat the bike is?
Okay, so I'm mainly, when I'm talking about the DLC, I'm mainly talking about Pack 2. Because Pack 2 has some good and some bad. You have the huge grind, like just the never-ending grind to get to the dungeon that is DLC. Then you get to the dungeon, and it's actually, unironically, the best dungeon in the game. And it's unfortunately locked behind a paywall. But it's a really good dungeon. And I would have liked to have seen more like that in the game, but expanded upon. Because honestly, that dungeon feels like a very basic prototype for what could have been a complex, in-depth dungeon for Breath of the Wild.
Now, to step into where we think video games could improve, I think for 2, they should learn that, hey, the only good dungeon you made was this one. So you better make the next one as good as that.
Yeah.
Or I'm not buying your damn fucking game.
If you're going to make us fight more divine beasts, please take inspiration from Shadow of the Colossus. Please.
Precisely.
Yeah.
Oh, dude.
I agree.
Like, they could do it. They had everything in place to do it, but they didn't.
Yeah.
Like, the only good divine beast fight, I think, is probably the one with the one in the Gerudo place, like where you're surfing on the seals. That shit's cool.
Yeah, that one was actually pretty cool. It's a shame the dungeon itself wasn't.
Yeah, no, it's not.
But the thing is that the fight, by the way, at the end of the dungeon, and I'm gonna get into spoilers here. The fight at the end of the dungeon for DLC Pack 2 is also very disappointing to me because you literally just fight a giant monk. And that's it. That's the fight. And I was thinking to myself when I was playing, because I felt like it was building up to, and I know, I don't understand people that think that he's just pure fan service or yada yada yada, but I thought that it was building up to a Dark Link fight.
Yeah.
And I feel like a Dark Link fight would have been way more appropriate.
Well, I mean, I'm sure we can all agree that Dark Link is criminally underused in the
He
Zelda,
is.
In the Zelda.
I think he is.
We could have got something even better, right? With what they were going for with Ganon in that game. Give us Calamity Link.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, like a corrupted, like the Ganon corruption makes its own Link, and that's kind of like the Dark Link of the game.
Okay, real quickly, while this is brought up to me, because me and you've had this discussion before on how Dark Link is not in, what is it? A Link to the Past? Well,
Yeah,
a Link,
he is.
Is it a Link to the Past or Link Between
Yeah,
Worlds?
he's not in A Link to the Past.
The new one. The one that's a reimagining of the SNES game.
He's technically in there, but only in multiplayer.
He's technically in there, but only in multiplayer. It would have been cool that if the other Hyrule, the Hylo, what was it? Low Rule, yeah. In Low Rule,
Hylo.
that Link was Shadow Link, and that his job throughout the entirety of that game is to be a constant nude system to you.
Yeah.
Like as you're trying to do stuff, he'll just come out of nowhere while you're in the
something along the lines of the Yiga clan.
Yeah. So every time you're in Low Rule, you have to like constantly be on your guard for Shadow Link because he's there and he's gonna wreck your shit if you're not careful. I think that would have been awesome. And me and you have had a discussion about how Dark Link could have been implemented into Breath of the Wild as
the Yiga clan.
The Yiga clan, and that would have been so.
I think he would have been a more interesting.
Actually.
Yeah, I think he would have been a more interesting antagonist, like constant, threat.
Yeah, like he's always there. If he sees you, he's about to give you the whoop down if you ain't ready.
Go ahead, Stygian.
If I could give one thing they could do with him, they could take inspiration from Metroid Prime Hunters. So you have to collect courage orbs throughout the game.
Yeah.
So either he beats you or he races you through a shrine and takes the courage orb first. You've now got to hunt him down to get it.
Yeah, that could actually be really cool too. Yeah,
just imagine doing that in the open world environment you have for Breath of the Wild. It would be fucking awesome.
Oh, you know what? Would actually be really interesting as well is make it so that you can track him. So if you can track him, the way that it's set up is that say you get to a shrine, it's already been completed, and now you have like a trail to follow him, and you gotta hunt his ass down and take what he's got.
Clues and shit.
Yeah. Take what he has.
It would be so cool, and it would be utilizing Breath of the Wild's exploration system to its absolute peak.
Yeah.
I forgot it.
What was it?
I was gonna say something like, I lost
it slipped.
It slipped.
But yeah, that's the thing.
Mr. Pirate Crab is right, by the way.
Huh?
Check in chat.
The worst part about Breath of the Wild was the fact that they had a guy who sold monster masks and it was a certain happy Yeah, it wasn't the happy mask salesman.
No, they got
the
that
happy mask
gremlin.
salesman.
Oh yeah. I remember now. When I say constant nuisance or like a nuisance, mainly think of like Shadow Mario from Sunshine, but dialed up to like 5 or 6.
Yeah.
Like if he sees you on spot, he's coming.
Yeah.
Like especially during the parts where it's the blood moon, have him where he's super beefed and he knows where you are constantly.
Yeah,
and if you're in his area, he's bringing the whoop down.
That would actually be interesting because then you have the difference. You have the flip around, so you can find shrines that he's pillaged already, and you have to hunt him down. Now on the blood moon, he's hunting you down.
Yep.
That would actually be really interesting.
Oh, you want to know something that would be really interesting too? If he wins, like he won't kill you, but if he wins a battle, he'll take an item from you.
Yeah, and see, the thing is that you can hunt him down again and get it back. But the other interesting thing that you could do is this leads to an interesting post game because now my gripes with Breath of the Wild are heavily in the post game as well, and that once you beat the game, the most you get next to your name is a gold star, and that's it.
Yeah,
you just get a star, and it's like, oh, you did it.
Side quests are not worth
so
it.
like in oh my bad, go ahead.
Oh no, I just wanted to say that. Yeah, like the main story is what you're doing. Like the side quests are not good at all.
No, they aren't.
No, they aren't.
So the thing that I was gonna say is that have it be, and Matthew Matosis put this in his video, and I really love this idea. Is have it. But instead, he had it so it was before post-game. I think that it should be post-game. Is you beat Ganon, so that means blood moons stop entirely. And this leads to you basically going around to each enemy encampment, and you can destroy each of those encampments and build like a miniature settlement there, or like a merchant like booth or something there. And it's basically you take back Hyrule. Because they say at the ending cutscene, it's like, now we got to rebuild Hyrule. Well, how about have me transition into doing that in the game?
Well, hold on. If that's the case, then what's Zelda 2 gonna be like?
Or Breath of the Wild 2, yeah.
Dude,
I've actually had a
I'm
look
so
in-
sorry, Stygian, but think about this, right? Zelda 2, you're spending the entire game rebuilding Hyrule. It's crumbling. It's in shambles, right? They go to these areas to try and figure this out. There would be parts of, like, well, I don't know, they're going through, like, the ruins of a temple, and you have to work with her to, like, solve a certain kind of puzzle.
Yeah.
Like, I don't want to get my hopes up for Zelda 2, like Breath of the Wild 2, but I'm actually kind of excited on what they would actually do.
Yeah, the other thing is, real quick, that I wanted to add on to that post-game idea is that, so now you have the Blood Moon stopping, Ganon's defeated, and now you get that final duel with Dark Link. And it's like, you know, he's beefed up, he's ready to throw down, and then, you know, you just get a really intense sword fight with him. And...
Or at least have, like, the interlopers be
Yeah.
explained, but that's kind of...
That's way far back.
Yeah,
But that's the thing is that, yeah, have something along those lines happen. And, dude, I'm just saying, that'd be awesome. That'd be a really awesome thing for them to do.
I would instantly hail Breath of the Wild 2 as the definitive best Zelda game. If that was something
I'm actually looking.
given.
I'm looking at some details about it now, actually, in regards to comments by Eiji Aonuma. So, first of all, he said this in regards to it. He wants, let's see, the idea of creating a direct sequel came from the fact that Eiji Aonuma, producer of Breath of the Wild, wanted to revisit the same Hyrule while incorporating a new story and gameplay mechanics. So, with that in mind, same Hyrule, we may just actually get that, in a sense. The Hyrule from Breath of the Wild may in fact come back, but more developed.
Yeah?
Like, people are
Possibly.
starting to live in Castletown again.
Yeah.
They're starting to rebuild. Or at least
look
getting
at
the
other stuff.
necessary components to rebuild. Because, hey, who
And-
knows? They might just pull, like, Deus Ex Machina and be like, hey, we're going to go find this magical spring well that'll send us back in time so we can go warn everybody and stop Calamity Ganon. They can go back 100 years in time and just stop the whole thing from happening. But once that whole thing stops from happening, we cease to exist. If they do something like that, I'm done with Nintendo, bro. I'm not buying their crap anymore. If they do that to me, they're done.
I'm looking at something else that was said. Initially, Breath of the Wild 2, the ideas in it was initially going to be a third DLC, but then they just got too many ideas and they decided to make a sequel.
Okay.
Well, that works. I'm fine with that.
Yeah, I'm fine with that, too.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, Breath of the Wild 2 so far seems very interesting to me because we have Zombie Dwarf. And then
Yes.
we also have, which I'm happy to see Ganondorf back after 13 years. 14 years going on now.
What, the original one?
No, it's Ganondorf.
Ooh.
Like Ganondorf,
We get
not
the
Ganon.
We get the actual Ganon.
Yeah.
Nice.
And also, what the fuck is happening at the end of that trailer with Hyrule Castle taking off into the sky? Like, what is that?
Oh, they're pulling a
it's the plot of Paper
sanctuary
Mario.
from Borderlands 2, where they
No,
just
it's the plot,
get it
it's
up
the
in
plot
the
of
sky.
Paper Mario and
just
Super
because.
Mario Galaxy. Breath of the Wild's going to be set in
Yeah.
space.
Yeah, Breath of the Wild's going to space. It's Mario Galaxy now. But the other concern I do have, though, and I actually, I'm looking at chat, and I agree with Pyro Crab, I'm wondering how similar the map for Breath of the Wild 2 is going to be to 1, or if it is going to be at all. Because what I'm
Ooh.
curious about is if Ganon's basically going to be like, all right, fuck it, taking over Hyrule isn't any good, but I want the castle because it's nice. So I'm going to fly it to a different country, and then you got to go over there and save that area.
You gotta go and bring back your own.
Yeah, let me take my castle back, you dick.
Give it back, you jerk. What the hell? It's like, nah, boo boo. I got your castle, fucking queen.
It's like your princess is in another castle, except the castle in question is right there, and it keeps moving.
No, like it's a Hyrule Castle, but it's not the Hyrule Castle.
Thank you, Link. Thank you, Link. But your castle's in another country. A Majora's Mask to the Ocarina of Time Breath of the Wild would be great. Need to piss off Miyamoto more by dissing his ideas. All right, so that's an interesting thing that you bring up there. of, can we just agree that Miyamoto just needs to stop?
He should not be allowed to make games anymore. I think he should just be overseer.
Listen, I've got respect for the guy, given what he's done in the industry.
Yeah, but you also got to understand, he literally did that on the by using everyone else's crutches.
But on top of that, the other thing is that what he's doing now for the industry. Look at how he ruined, and it is him. He ruined Paper Mario.
Oh yeah, he's the single-handed reason why Paper Mario sucks.
He ruined Mario and Luigi as a series, like the Mario and Luigi RPG series.
I mean, we also gotta understand how shut down. So they literally.
No, that wasn't Hell.
Was that not Hell?
No, that's Alpha Dream.
Oh yeah, you're right.
Yeah. And that's the thing is that.
Damn, you're right. He did.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
He killed those series.
Fuck.
You know, he's the main cause of the new Super Mario Brothers games being as similar as they are. Like, he's just a creative stifle in Nintendo. And that's why I've liked...
He's afraid to try new things.
That's also... Oh, also, he ruined Star Fox Zero, yeah. He's also the cause for there not being a new F-Zero game for, like, 15 years. Because he's the one who... Like, this is a statement he made of... It would need a new innovation. Like, that's why he didn't make one for the Wii U, is because he said, well, I couldn't think of one, or of a way to, like, innovate it for the Wii U. And it's like, you don't need to innovate it. Just give me my fast zoom car racing.
Yeah, just buff up the graphics like you do every year.
Yeah.
With Mario.
Yeah. So, his whole, ideas, I think he just needs to stop and let Koizumi take over. Because Koizumi's the guy that spearheaded the Switch's design and overall... direction, and he's also the guy that directed Mario Odyssey. Miyamoto's only there as like I'm just the guy that made Mario.
And then all of a sudden,
Koizumi's the guy that spearheaded it.
It's literally like all of a sudden, wow, a good Mario game?
Yeah,
oh,
and
wow.
Guess what? He also stepped further back away from Breath of the Wild's development, and look at how different that game is. He gave Aonuma more control. Look at how different that game is, and look at how much of a good positive feedback that it got from the community.
Yeah, it's not the best game in the series, but it's not the worst either.
Yeah.
The last thing Miyamoto has done is he wasn't even director of Super Mario Odyssey. He was executive producer.
See, told you. Everything that man has accomplished has been on the shoulders of someone else.
Yeah.
Mm.
And that's the thing is that I don't know. I feel like he just needs to stop at this point. He just needs to step back and either retire or just let people do, be creative. Instead of he's like a huge proponent of the if it ain't broke, don't fix it mentality.
Yeah, because he looks at EA, he looks at Activision. These guys aren't trying new things.
No,
EA is not trying new things, but you want to know something? EA brings in billions of dollars.
Yeah, they still sell games.
They still sell games and they still make money.
Yeah. Whereas,
But the difference between that is they have to hire a studio to put the life into their games.
Yeah.
Nintendo is the ones that put the life in their games.
Yeah.
Now, when that life starts lacking, they have to go towards third-party games. Nintendo and Sony are the only ones making they're the only ones making first-party games nowadays. And Sony is starting to not do that anymore. So that would mean Nintendo will soon be the only console that makes first-party games.
Yeah.
Yeah. I do not want that man in charge if that's the case.
I agree, by the way, Newborn Plum, of Miyamoto is a good person when it comes to gathering the right people at the moment, should stay out of the game dev meetings, so I agree. I would say, if anything, he should do that, yes.
No, yeah.
Okay,
I don't hate the man.
On the what if Samus had a bug set?
I recognize that he's not as great as a lot of people make him out to be.
I'm still salty about him, though. I'll be salty at him, but I don't hate him.
The what if Samus had a bug said thing, right? So obviously that was insanely fucking cryptic from him, and he should have just straight up said what he thought they should do.
Oh yeah, God.
But that did in fact lead to a positive for the game, and that if he had not in fact said that, we wouldn't have Morph Ball in the Metroid Prime series. Like they were straight up not going to do it, but I think Shigeru Miyamoto literally came in and said, "Yeah, no, if you can't get Morph Ball going, probably won't make it at all. I'm like, maybe that's a bit extreme, but yeah, he got it made.
Yeah.
That's like the one good contribution he's probably made to a dev team, and it wasn't even. It was fucking bizarre.
Mm-hmm. Did I just realized I don't think I put the Discord link in the chat on the Be Right Back. Let me do that real quick. But go ahead if you got anything, Sleepy. So, did you have anything you want to add?
If not, are we?
Because we were talking about Breath of the Wild.
Well, I mean,
you want to go back to the topic at hand of like the series, the 4 games you were talking about?
Oh, okay, yeah. We'll move on because I think we've thoroughly dug into Breath of the Wild enough. Let's talk about Skyward Sword, so I can talk a little bit about what I actually like about that game. One of the things that I do like is the introduction of the sprinting mechanic, which I like. I like a lot.
Mm-hmm.
But when it was ported over to Breath of the Wild, I think it needs to be reworked a little bit if it's going to be for everything.
Mm-hmm.
For running and climbing. Because eventually, I have a feeling that they're probably just going to say, screw it, let's just have him constantly consume energy. But at a very low percentage. And then when he's doing things, have it be exerted.
Yeah.
I would prefer them, if they were going to do that route, give us something somewhere, either let us be able to get it early game or late game or whenever game, but something that'll let us not consume energy anymore.
Yeah.
If you're going to have it be such a slog from the beginning, make it piss easy later down the line.
Mm-hmm.
So we're not dealing with that the entire game.
Yeah. So, sorry, I just got distracted there for a minute.
Oh, no, you're good.
Stop staring at the bird out the window.
Oh, huh?
Nothing.
Okay. But yeah, I agree. Also, real quick, just a quick shout out to thank you all that are joining the Discord. It's good to see more people funnel in.
Oh, definitely. Yeah. I'm ready to see that lively community there in no time.
Mm-hmm. Which I'm gonna try and post in there more often.
Me too.
Yeah. But to go into which game are we at? I lost track.
We are at Skyward Sword.
Okay, so
we're currently talking about gripes.
Gripes.
If you
gripes.
have any.
Okay, I do have gripes with Skyward Sword.
What do you got?
Okay, so one of the big problems I have with Skyward Sword is I think that it drags itself out in the third act.
I agree as well.
I think the third act drags out way too long. I think the third act should be the second act. Well, or there should be a little bit of a combination of the two, of the second and third act, instead of you have the second act you have the first act, which is here's 3 dungeons. Here's the second act. Here's 3 dungeons. Then here's the third act, and here's 3 dungeons, but also hunt down these songs. Oh. Or no, actually no, it isn't the there aren't dungeons. It's the songs though. The menial tasks you have to do to get the songs are so annoying. Such as for example, you have the one that I hate the most, which is the water dragon. I hate the water dragon in that game because her excuse for not giving you the song outright is total bullshit. Link shows up to that motherfucking tree that she's in. He has the fully forged Master Sword on his back. He made it. And she's like, well, I don't know if you're really the hero yet. How about you go find these fucking Tadtones out here in the middle of this lake that I created and waste a bunch of time trying to collect those, and then I'll see if you're really the hero. It's like,
never
what
mind
the
fact
fuck?
that
You're literally the guardian deity that is supposed to be guarding this flame that I got to build the Master Sword, which only the true hero can build. How much more proof do you need?
Never mind the fact that just a few minutes prior, Demise almost escaped out of his seal again.
That too,
you know, right next to you, and you don't think there's any reason to be in a hurry at this point?
Yeah.
Like,
you don't think that there's...
Yeah, I'd say if you saw a young lad with green clothes on, a sword, the Master Sword, fully forged Master Sword, something that only you would know, the Master Sword, fully forged on his back, beautiful highlighting shield,
Yeah. Also, yeah, the Hylian shield.
If you're not like, oh hey hero, I've missed you upon instant eye contact, then it's a plot hole.
Yeah, it's just like, well, the thing is, it's not necessarily a plot hole. I think
Well-
it's just poor writing.
Exactly. Like it's not up to snuff. It's
Yeah,
bad.
It's literally just
It's
like,
raw.
I would say it's literally the worst part of Skyward Sword story is the whole song collection quest, because it's like, okay, when it comes to
I would have found the Elden part because I actually thought that was probably one of the best stealth segments in any
Yes.
Zelda game.
yes, I will say that. I'm gonna get to that, but I think that water dragon segment is horrible. I think
The
that
water
the
dragon
Elden segment is fine. At least it has some form of an excuse to exist. You know,
It is,
and
in fact, good even by it's the mandatory stealth section that every Zelda game's had, and
for some reason.
yeah, they just like them for some
I'm
reason.
glad that they actually did just incorporate stealth as a mainstay for the series now for Breath of the Wild.
Mm.
Like, it was a long time coming, and it needed to happen.
Mm.
But that's the thing, is that you have, what is it? Oh yeah, the excuse being used for Elden, at least, is that, okay, he's a giant magic dragon guardian deity, so him having a random explosion of power that sets off the volcano and throws you off course, I can buy that. But
Mm.
that water dragon segment, though, I hate. The thunder dragon as well is alright. I kind of like the idea that he's just dead.
I like the fact that he's just dead when
Yeah, you wind
find
up and
him,
he's dead.
but at the same time, it's a fucking fetch quest.
Also, I think that, if I remember right, his whole, like, sickness that he has is literally just like a cold. But he's
It's what,
never
sorry?
had one before, so it kills him.
It's what? Sorry, I just cut out for a second.
I think that his whole sickness that he has is a cold, but he's never had one before, so it just kills him.
Okay, that didn't compute for me until the second time you said it, and that's great.
But yeah, he needs literally like the seed of life to cure a cold. So there's that. I did also enjoy I didn't mind his whole quest. I thought it went on a little bit too long, but it's nothing horrible. But when you're doing all three of them right in a row, because you have to do all three of them right in a row, I feel like it really just emphasizes the segment being dragged out. Like,
Yeah,
it just
Well,
keeps going, and you're like,
it's-
all right, I just want to go fight Girahim and finish off Demise. Can I please go do that?
yeah, it's a symptom from fucking GameCube era of terrible end games in Nintendo's big open world games. It happened with Metroid Prime, it happened with Wind Waker, it happened with Twilight Princess. They all had terrible late game quests.
Yes.
Yes.
It is, unfortunately, a common trend of the series up until Breath of the Wild.
Well, what can you say? The man just can't write good endings.
Yeah, in Breath of the
It's
Wild,
it's
they did
actually a
complete
pretty
180
common problem with a lot
decided,
of writers.
Fuck it, beat the game right now.
Well, yeah, that's the thing, is that Breath of the Wild can literally just be like, oh, you finished the tutorial? Well, now you're in the end game. That's it.
You are in the end game now.
Yeah. You fool. You thought that you had to play the rest of the game. Yeah, I do like that idea. And honestly, actually, the whole concept of, oh, you can just go to the end of the game out the gate, I really do like that idea. I like how from the start, Aonuma just was like, yeah, you can do it. You're going to die, loser, but you can do it. And then somebody did it, like, day one of it being released.
Well, of course I did. Probably
Yeah.
because it was a Jap.
Always got a dab on Aonuma.
Always got a dab on him.
He's probably going to be like, in the next game, he's probably going to be like, all right, fine. I'm just going to make it so he instant kills every time.
You have to have this item, and if you leave this area without the checker going off, you just die.
Yeah.
I did this just to spite you, you bastard.
Your game gets
Yeah, just to
locked.
spite
You
them.
have to go back. You have to go back to fucking GameStop. Have them call up by Aonuma and be like, "Hey, can you unlock his game?" He's like, "Ah, you tried to cheat." No, and you just have a locked switch for weeks.
Also, I agree, Josephus. Of something that's kind of disappointing is that all the dungeons only make the final fight easier. Like, I kind of want a challenge, especially after getting so freaking buff. Yeah,
This is kind of the thing. The boss fight with Calamity Ganon would be fine if you didn't have the fucking everything else in the game being a crutch for it.
Yeah, it's like that terminal montage video with the speed run, but it's like the ending of the game anyway, where like where Link shows up and he's just like super massive buff. He grows to like 8 feet tall and just beats the shit out of Ganon.
Yeah, it's not making the final fight more winnable. It's making it fucking easy.
Yeah.
Like you are not doing all those quests so that you can have a good fight against them. You are beating all of the intended quests of the game is just it is just ruining the end game for you, quite frankly.
Yeah. It's almost as if like what is it? Over leveling in an RPG was really 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 easy to do. Because the thing is that you can over level in an RPG, but usually that takes a lot of time. People aren't willing to sink in, so they just play the game with how the challenge is meant to be. Mm-hmm. Whereas in Breath of the Wild, it's like, okay, well, I want to get buff before I go fight the final boss, and I'm going to do that by getting these heart containers and upgrading my armor. And the thing is that if you upgrade your armor even a little bit, he's a pushover. Especially if you have a lot of heart containers.
Yeah, I would argue you probably don't even need many heart containers. You could probably just visit all the Great Fairies, upgrade the Knight's armor to max, and you're golden.
Yeah, exactly.
Because that thing is fucking tanky.
Mm-hmm. Now, as for, you want to move on to Twilight Princess? Or do you want to do Majora's Mask first and then save Twilight Princess for last? Sleepy's getting sleepy.
No, I'm thinking.
I know.
I'm getting anemic and drunk.
A good combo.
Very very good combo. Let's go ahead and drop TP and let's just go straight to MJ.
MJ.
Well,
MM.
Yeah, MM.
MM.
Yeah.
No, why not MJ? Let's bring Michael Jackson in here.
Yeah, let's get Michael Jackson.
Let's just get Michael Jackson in here.
Let's
He's dead, bruh. It's gonna be some thriller shit in here.
Quick Starfish, play the song Awakening to wake up sleepy.
Have you actually seen anything from Michael Jackson, or are you just saying? Because I think the joke would be a lot better if you were just like, yeah, definitely. I've never seen him, guys. I'm British, remember?
No, we do in fact know him quite well over here. There are in fact a few things that we care about from you Americans.
Oh, that's good. I'm glad Michael Jackson is definitely one of them.
Yeah, he is rather big over here.
How do you like one of our many good imports, my friend?
Which ones?
Michael Jackson and burgers.
Oh, right. Wait, you said Michael Jackson import over here? Michael Jackson import?
Yeah. We just left him over there. He came back, but you know, we were like, hey, you guys want Michael Jackson for a little bit? And you were like, okay.
Y'all have good guitars. But yeah, so that's the thing. Is that Majora's Mask, peak of the series, if you ask me.
Really?
Yes. I think it is
absolutely definitive.
The best the series has to offer. I think.
Why is it treated so poorly?
What do you mean?
The 3DS remake.
Oh, the 3DS remake?
And the fact that it's barely even supported.
I'm going to bring up my boy Nero once again.
Nintendo doesn't want to acknowledge Breath of the Wild's existence, only when it has to. Because the only reason we got a Majora's Mask remake is because they remade Ocarina of Time, and we bitched loud enough.
Yeah.
That's the only reason we got it. But the fact of the matter is, they fucked it over. It's bad.
Yeah, as Neril in fact put it in his video, they forgot what made the game great.
Yeah,
they did.
They really did.
Yeah, they did. I think that one of the biggest, like a good example of it is, quote unquote, fixing things that don't need to be fixed. such as Zora swimming. I know it's like the classic example everybody jumps to, but it's the best example. Because the Zora swimming in, what is it, the original version is phenomenal.
It's amazing. It is the best swimming system the series has ever had.
It's the best swimming system in a game I've ever played. It's fantastic.
So
and there's games about swimming.
Around.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the funniest part. Is that there are.
This game has one dedicated part to it.
Yeah. And it was so smooth and just you could just turn on a dime, no problem.
I think the only thing they would really need to change, like, okay, so the only reason to have any problems at all with the swimming in Majora's Mask is during the Georg fight, which I don't even think you can really blame on the swimming. I would blame that on the small arena. Like, if you know what problem I'm talking about, it's getting back onto the platform after you've hit him.
Yes.
Like, the window is tight because that
it's very, very small.
So small.
Yeah.
Yeah. So if you just fix that, or maybe make the jump a bit more, just make it bigger, you wouldn't have any problems at all.
Yeah,
it would be.
I agree.
It would be perfect.
Yeah, and that's the thing is that outside of that, there really aren't any issues with it. I mean, hell, even traveling through the Great Bay Temple isn't an issue. Like, it's a complete non-issue to get through there. Like, even though you're going through these tight corridors and stuff, it's designed around your movement. Then you go over to the 3DS version, and they didn't change any of that. But then they changed the swimming. So now, when you go to swim, it's just this default really slow, really monotonous, boring speed that, like, it's just almost like you're walking, but you're swimming. And it's very stiff. It's very stiff in how you have to move. I just got just there. So the thing is that you have this stiff movement, and then you're like, well, what happened to my swimming? Where's my fast swimming? Then you go and you do, your magic shield or whatever. Oh, and there's my default speed. Oh, and there's my good swimming control. Because actually, when you have your magic shield activated, your swimming control still actually isn't bad. It's not as good as the 64 version, I don't think, but moving with the circle pad on the 3DS, it's not horrible. The problem is that it basically makes the extended magic meter mandatory. If you try and do Great Bay without the extended magic meter in the 3DS version, that is a nightmare. That is an absolute nightmare. Because it eats through your magic meter so fast. Like, I don't know who at Nintendo thought that was a good idea to just be like, just make it just gone. But they should be fired. That's a joke. But the point is, I hate it. And it didn't need to be changed from what it was. The original version, yeah, it has a bunch of jank to it. I won't deny that, like having to wait for the specific time. Whereas with the 3DS, you get the quality of life improvement of, you can just skip to any time that you want. That is very nice.
That is a very good quality of life.
Yes, but then you get things like changing the Zora swimming, and they changed the Goron rolling. They made it worse.
Why?
I don't know, but they made it worse.
Fine. It was one of the best parts of the game.
Exactly. Once again, it's another question of, why did you do this? They slowed down Link's movement speed, like they did with Ocarina of Time, but it's more of a problem in Majora's Mask, given how some of the platforming is set up.
Yeah, I think the time travel change is literally the one quality of life they needed to do.
Yeah, really, that's about it. I don't really know, what else there would need to be like done. Go ahead. Oh.
Well,
no,
just say it. Yeah, you don't need to do hand motions at me.
Well, the reason I'm letting you know is because unless you guys got anything else you want to add on to that, that's pretty much a wrap. And then we can move on to the new added segment.
Oh, yeah. Stygian gets to be our first test experiment on this.
You get to be our guinea pig for our new segment on the show that I think everyone's
you
really going to like.
understand how many things I've been a guinea pig for already?
Fair.
Well, do you have anything else?
I'm a literal science test subject.
Do you have anything else, Zelda, that you want to chat about, Stygian, or do you want to
Right.
are you good to have us wrap it up on the podcast here?
Yeah, I think I've got everything out. Unless we want
Alright.
to actually go into my problems with Twilight Princess.
Huh?
What?
Remember?
Oh,
The,
yeah, go
Oh,
ahead,
yeah,
go
yeah,
ahead.
go ahead,
Let's,
go ahead,
yeah,
go
let's
ahead.
talk about those.
Yeah.
Right, yeah. All right, let me get out the list. I just had it saved, I think.
CDI
Wait,
game
where'd I put it?
discussion.
CDI game. You know what? Why not? Sure.
We'll talk about the CDI games after Stygian. So
Yeah, yeah.
Anyway, I was gonna just post it into a Word document real quick. I just copied it from a DM.
Okay.
Bear with. Okay, yeah. So, I'll preface with saying like this is the one take that it's for the most part been exclusively mine for ages. So I just make every effort to spread it out as much as I can.
Right.
And I'll preface with these certain things. I think Twilight Princess has some of the best characters in the fucking series, having replayed it recently.
I agree.
Especially comes out in the first section of the game. Characters like Colin, for instance, are fucking amazing.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that is genuinely a tender moment.
Yes, it is. I do really like the characters as well.
The gameplay is, of course, fine. Actually, I say that it's probably better than Wind Waker's, but that's not saying much. I think at the Wind Waker point, they started 3D Zelda games got more dumbed down than they've ever been before.
I agree.
And yeah, it was Wind Waker, and then they started going upwards again. Like Twilight Princess, they got slightly better. Skyward Sword, they got amazingly better. And then Breath of the Wild, they got better, but not in a good way.
Yeah.
Well, no, that's
It
way
needs, well,
they
it's an
made a new
interesting
system.
system. It needs work.
Yeah, it's a system that, well, it could have worked, and there's definitely ways in which you can make it work if you're willing to nerf yourself, but otherwise, no.
Yes.
It's far too,
I agree.
how do I put it?
It's neutered.
Yeah,
Hampered.
I guess. You could easily just play it in one way, and well, it's like I would describe it as like Magic in Dark Souls. There's just this one way to play that you can use to just completely make everything easy as shit.
2 words. Flurry rush.
Flurry Rush.
Yeah.
Even parrying's better than Flurry Rush.
Mm-hmm.
But with all that in mind, with Twilight Princess, my biggest problem comes to a shitload of problems I have with the story in it. Like, if we're going to talk into plot holes, contrivances, and other such shit, I think that Twilight Princess is the biggest offender of them all when it comes to a very inconsistent plot.
How so?
My list comes in. All right, to start with, everyone remembers the moment when you finish the Arbiter's grounds and you see Ganondorf getting executed, right?
Yeah.
Does it not strike anyone as a bit of a dick move on the gods' parts to give Ganon the Triforce of Power?
Well,
They didn't give it to him. He was already born with it. It just awoke in at that moment.
No, it was sealed. It was sealed in the Sacred Realm. Like, this has even been clarified by the Hyrule Historia at this point. Like, the backstory.
How the hell did he get it?
The sages literally say it. They say it was a divine prank.
Yeah, they do say that.
It was a divine prank.
Yeah, it says
that
by
they
some.
gave him the. Oh, I'm
yeah,
done talking about
it actually says by some divine prank. He was given
so the
Triforce
gods
of Power.
are literally just being assholes.
They were literally by some divine prank. He was destined to get it. He's getting.
Well, I mean, he still gets it though.
Well, yeah, but
the thing is that
I don't understand why for them it's just like, oh, all of a sudden.
And here's the thing:
it must be a prank that he was given this.
It's just a prank, bruh.
It is just a prank. And the thing is, if we're talking about destiny in terms of it, even if they were to give the explanation, oh yes, this was just destiny, he was always going to get it. Why make it so contrived?
Exactly.
I mean, the gods would be willing this, right? They would be willing this destiny into existence. But why though? Ganon is going to kill people.
Yeah, like why put people through this hell?
You are being an actual dick. You posted cringe
that's why
in
I
the form
think
of Ganondorf's hand.
Well,
Yeah.
that's why I think Ganondorf, more importantly, the actual spirit Ganondorf that's being reincarnated as we continue. He, that's why I think he's not normal in this. Like, he has to be like a very strong figure. Like, I'm not gonna say he's a god, but he has to have some kind of level on that.
You know what? Actually,
I wanted him to be intelligent. I wanted him to somehow acquire the Triforce another way.
Well, see, my little headcanon here, it's, more or less a joke, but also it's like, what if this were the case? Is it's just like, Ganondorf, he's powerful. He's a sorcerer. He's like big, powerful, muscle sorcerer man. What if Din just has the hots for him?
Fair.
So she just gave it to him.
Fair.
There is,
Like, she
that
likes
is a
Ganondorf
genuine
a
theory
lot,
that Din
and the
is
rest of them are like, "Why do you like him so much?"
Yeah, he causes so
Yeah,
much
she
issues. Why are you
like,
giving it?
I feel like it's just her chess piece. Like, the gods are playing a game. They're constantly playing a game where
I think,
Din comes in and fucks over Nehru. Well, not Nehru, but
kind of
Nehru.
both of them.
Din comes in, fucks over Nehru, and then Fiora's got to send in her piece to come and figure this whole to sort it all out.
Well, see, the thing is that we don't really know anything about the gods or the goddesses outside of the fact that they made the Triforce. They're the ultimate beings of this universe, right?
Yeah.
So the thing is that we don't know how they operate. For all we know, it could be some dumb shit like the Greek gods, like with Zeus, where it's like, oh, that person over there, I'm gonna fuck him, just for no reason.
Just don't like him.
Yeah.
All we know is that in Hyrule they are worshipped because they are part of the fucking religion. They seem to have forgotten
that's
how highly
literally the only thing we know, and that's it.
Like,
so it's like, for all I know, funnily enough, for all I know, Din could just have the hots for Ganondorf.
Yeah, I would like this to be actually fucking characterized though, because all previous games would have you assume that the goddesses are actually good beings, because they take loads of good actions, right? Remember?
Yeah, they do.
In the Dark Interloper War and shit, in Twilight Princess, they sent the Light Spirits to get rid of them.
Yeah, so like,
you're willing
why
to get rid of one group of evil sorcerers, but not this one guy?
Yeah,
Why?
who's caused more problems than that group did?
Combined.
They tried to get the Triforce as well, funnily enough.
Also, my question is, okay, something just popped into my head that I just realized. So, Demise puts a curse on the first Link at the end of Skyward Sword for Ganondorf to be reincarnated and plague his future generations, right?
Yes.
Why has no Link up to this point wished for that curse to be broken?
Because they don't know exists.
They don't know.
I guess, yeah.
Yeah, they do.
But it's passed down in legend.
Well, no, you gotta understand. Because for every Link after the one that's been originally cursed, they're all reincarnations.
Yeah, I know.
So all of them, they had to grow into the position of being the hero.
Yeah.
It was for every Link, it was thrusted upon them, and they rose. They accepted the call, and they rose to action. Every single Link has done that, except for a small few.
True, I guess. Yeah.
Because the only ones we haven't seen that happen are Zelda 2, because it's a direct sequel of Zelda 1, and we don't know shit about Zelda 1.
A game about breaking the cycle started in Skyward Sword would actually be awesome. Could actually turn Ganon into a somewhat figure cursed by fate to die over and over and over again or something.
Yeah, and then is really the hero who is the champion that is destined to come back every time Ganon is reincarnated. Because if you ask me, I thought it was the other way around. That Ganon was cursed to come back every time since he was filled with such rage.
They also kind of...
Yeah, you're a bit too quiet.
But
they also kind of stepped on this with Breath of the Wild as well, because in Breath of the Wild, the story is that it is a very big cycle at this point. Calamity Ganon comes back every 10,000 years to wreak havoc. But in the plot of Breath of the Wild, just 1,000 years prior... Wait, is it 1,000 or 100 years?
100 years.
100 years, right. So, yeah, he comes back, and he actually wins.
Yeah.
like, yeah, the plot of Breath of the Wild did touch on this as well, the whole breaking of the cycle thing, because he nearly won.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's
Well,
the thing.
actually, if you ask me, I think that with Breath of the Wild, it actually still follows the same line. Link doesn't know who he is when he walks out of that cave, and he's spending the entire game remembering who he was. So, in a sense, he's still having his, like, who he is and who he's becoming thrusted upon him. Still, even there. So, if you ask me, does Breath of the Wild really even break the mold?
Not really.
No.
Not as much as I would like, but there,
No.
there is the element. I mean, the thing is, the plot of Breath of the Wild then takes a massive backseat after the Great Plateau.
Well, yeah, that's the main problem with it, is that it's like, okay, well, now the plot happened 100 years ago, so just kind of do whatever.
Yeah.
And the
memory fragments you get don't exactly tell you much other than character development.
No, literally.
Yeah.
Because by all intents and purposes, other than the fact that if you don't do anything, Ganon's just going to take over the world, you don't do it.
Also,
you don't have to do anything.
Also, the flashbacks.
You can just be a new person.
The flashbacks are for characters that are... It's character development for characters that are already dead. So it's like, okay, why bother even building a character here? They're already dead. Why should I care about them?
They do come back as spirits or whatnot. But
well, yeah, but that's the only time you see them. You only see them once, and then they have that little segment of, oh, I'm going to help him. And then, boom, that's it. So why do I care about this character again?
I definitely care about the Birdman because he is just a more eloquent Falco, and I love him.
Yeah.
He's good.
Yeah, he
I like
is.
that guy. And then
Falco
of course,
pilled.
enough, and then there's a demographic of people who love fish waifu and fish husbando.
No judgment, but I'm team fish waifu too. I don't know. There's just some about that character.
There is a massive amount of there is like very divided demographic.
Her character's so hollow. There's like nothing there.
All of them are.
Oh yeah.
Well, her in particular. She's
yeah.
literally like a mulch.
Rivali is fine. I don't care what anyone says.
Go ahead, Stygian.
He's the only one that had a character arc, in fact, because the whole deal with him was he was jealous of Link because he gets to be the fucking champion. Meanwhile, he sat on the back seat. He's like, yeah, no, I need to show this guy. Bitch can't even fly.
Yeah, no. But
and then he has a genuine character arc, and we're just like, yeah, you're actually better at this than I am. I mean, I'm the one that died.
That moment when a human's better at flying than me, a bird man.
Yeah, he genuinely had an arc.
Well, the thing is like the thing about the champion is that there was a bunch of other candidates to be champion, but he was just better than all of them, and got to be champion. He was better at what they did.
Yeah.
Yeah. And Rivali doesn't like that because he's used to being the best of the Raito people.
Yeah, he is.
Yeah.
Well, see, that's the thing, though. It's like every Link doesn't know they're going to be Link. So for them, they think that, okay, well, I'm just living life. I'm just naturally this athletic. I'm just naturally this talented. What they don't know is that each one has been given a divine gift, and then it just activates whenever their time is to be Link is to be Link.
Yeah. So, getting back to Twilight Princess, Stygian. You have any more points you wanted to make?
Oh, yeah. Okay.
The list.
I think this is one I've talked about with you at one point. The somewhat contrivance of you fighting the Shadow Beast in Ordana and not having, already taken the light.
Oh, yeah. I know what you mean.
Like, you have been gone from Orden for a good half hour, and they haven't taken that opportunity to take the light. How long does it take?
Yeah, like that's.
Oh, well, hold on, because the ones that were dropped in at when you start in the early parts of the game, the ones that drop in the first time, those were the ones sent to go get the light.
Well, but what Stygian is saying is, why hadn't they already done it?
Well, because you were there.
Well, no, you weren't though. You were imprisoned.
You were away in Hyrule Castle.
No, you were in Hyrule Castle.
You went away for half an hour. God knows how much. Okay, that Shadow Beast had to drag you to the fucking Lanayru province. And you saw how fucking slow that thing was going, and then you were unconscious for God knows how many days.
Yeah. And then you have to go through all of Hyrule Castle, and then you get warped back there.
Yeah.
So it's
And
like,
they haven't
and
taken
they
the
even
light
and
yet.
what part of the game does this take place?
the opening.
No.
Yeah,
This is-
when
okay,
when Link is taken by the beast in the
Yeah.
opening,
Yeah.
he has to be dragged all across Lanayru
Yeah.
province
and then when he
to
gets,
Hyrule
Then
Castle.
when he gets back to that lake, they drop in.
I know, but what I'm saying is, but what we're saying
What we're
is,
saying is that contrived.
yeah, why were they
by
not
all
dropped in
means-
way earlier?
Oh,
Yeah,
just
like, those
maybe-
portals
well,
can
well, because
basically summon-
it's so tucked away in the forest that that Zant took a
But
while
they
to
know where
find it.
all of them are.
Oh, and then I don't know.
Yeah, because
Like, yeah,
Game-
the portal
game
was, the portal
relevancy.
was made, and
Game
these things can
relevancy.
seemingly get through them instantaneously.
yeah, that's
Because they can
well, that's the
swap
thing is that they even show you in like that flashback where the spirit's describing what's happening. It literally takes an instant. Like,
Yeah,
they drop in and are like, "Give me that light, bitch," and then they got it.
Orden should by all means be covered in twilight.
Yeah, and I mean the thing is that it's a small thing for me anyway.
It is a very small. It is a very
But
small
it's
thing.
still
I just
something there that's like, okay, come on.
This should not have happened.
Yeah.
Other little things. The Patriarch of the Gorons, stupid enough to touch the fused shadow.
Oh, wait, hold on. Before we move on, just because they know where they all are doesn't mean it would be an instant for them. Well,
It would be.
it would be.
'Cause
I
his whole
think-
plan
I
is
think
to take
I
over.
think for that instance, unless it's just a straight up plot hole, then he got lucky in his timing.
Unless the
Or his
shadow
arrival.
beast unless the shadow beast they put on detail for that was extremely lazy.
Also,
Which
yeah,
I don't think they can be because they're fucking enslaved
That's-
demon beasts.
that's the thing that's the other thing is that he sends 3 shadow beasts per one, but this one he only sends 1.
Mm.
Why?
Yeah, actually, that's a good point. Why did
That is a
I didn't-
good
eh.
point.
I suppose they only need one?
He's the
And the
tutorial
other
one.
Tutorial
I-
one.
Hey Jeff, you're on
suppose it's just
tutorial
like when
duty
you're
today.
fighting-
Well, think about it
you-
this way too. He's like, oh, literally, it's just a pond. I think one will be needed, right?
I guess.
Because everywhere
I-
else, it's a big area with a lot of people in them. So yeah, 3 rolling up seems about right.
It may also be that they just didn't know how powerful they are, so they just sent 3 in to be safe, and they realized, oh wait, these guys are fucking easy. We'll send
these
in
guys are
one.
fucking
Yeah.
pushovers.
Once again though, the only issue at that point is just it's not explained in the game.
Yeah, no, it's just there. It's weird.
I'm willing to like just accept it, but at the same time like, it's a bit odd.
Okay, so
Oh, I'm ready to-
another thing I have. Oh no, this list is nowhere near done. I'm afraid.
Oh lordy.
Let's.
Should
I will try and
should I
get
order
through it as quick
takeout.
as I
No. But it's going to be a chunk stream.
can. On
It's a
the,
podcast, dude. It's going to take a while.
the next
Well, every
issue
podcast
I
has
have.
to be 8 minutes long. You know that, right?
The next
8
issue I
minutes?
have is
Well,
in
8 minutes,
regards
8
to.
hours. You
I know.
that, right? You know they don't have to be long.
I know.
I'm sorry.
We're we're
Continue.
behind the scenes lounging over here. Don't worry.
The next issue I have is in regards to the fact that the Patriarch of the Gorons, Darbus. Why did he touch the fused shadow?
Yeah, they know
This
that
was
it's like this, evil relic. Why'd he touch it?
They were entrusted light spirit. Did they not give them a fucking
It's
terms
that.
and conditions?
It's that SpongeBob scene. Touch, don't touch, touch.
Why?
Does
Like,
it work? It works. Just don't touch it.
touch.
well, I think they could have even characterized it because, like, Darbus is so fucking full of himself, but they still don't explain it. Like,
Yeah.
it would be really worth explaining why he was dumb enough to touch it.
Well, my question is
it
why
could've
is
even
this
done
all
it.
of a sudden?
Yeah. Why are they suddenly just doing this now?
Yeah, like actually, now that you think about
Oh,
it,
no,
why is
I'll
it
tell
that
you
when
why. I'll
Link
tell you
rolls
why they're
up,
doing.
all of a sudden it's been an issue for like a few days?
I'll
You-
tell
you
you
know
why
what I
they're
mean?
doing it. I'll tell you why they're doing it now because they actually the Goron guy actually tells you why. Gorkora, I think his name is. Yeah, he tells you why. It's because around that time, Death Mountain had begun erupting very frequently, as you even find out when you travel through it.
Huh.
And so they went to inspect on the fused shadow because they were smart enough to think that it could be the cause, not smart enough to realize they shouldn't touch it.
Yeah. True.
So yeah, that's why they went to see it because Death Mountain was erupting, and I'm guessing that's partly because Zant showed up and took over, and I'm guessing that kind of got the fused shadows a bit hot under the collar,
Yeah.
something along those lines. So I can make peace with that.
Yeah.
next thing here. I find okay, so you know when Zelda gives her power, basically the Triforce of Wisdom, to Minna in order for her to survive.
Yes.
I find it a bit weird that she disappears.
Yeah,
Like,
she just vanishes, but then suddenly she's back.
Yeah,
like, the
all of a sudden
implication is
she's
that she
back
died.
to fight her when she's possessed by Ganon.
But the thing is that
the
the game sets it up as if she's died.
Yeah.
Yeah. It treats it as if she's died, but the alternative, she was just teleported to the throne room? Why?
Like, the only thing I can think of is that it sealed her in the Sacred Realm somehow, and then that Ganondorf dragged her out?
Well, question is, if she
Again,
gave her
we
power,
would need
the
to
Triforce
know.
of Wisdom, away, then that makes Midna the new ruler of Hyrule.
Well, it gives her the Triforce of Wisdom, at least.
Yeah, but it makes her
yes.
all-powerful. You don't understand. She has the Triforce of Wisdom now.
Yeah, why doesn't she get more magical abilities?
She is now the new Zelda.
Yeah.
Mm.
I don't know. That's odd.
The extent of her powers, I would maybe gather she didn't really understand how to use them. She probably didn't even know she had the Triforce of Wisdom, because
True.
throughout the game they don't even really allude that much to what they can do. They just say that they have them.
Also, it just kind of... Also, whenever you free Zelda from Ganondorf's possession, it just kind of goes out of Midna back into Zelda.
Oh, well, here's another question I have.
That's actually one thing. That implies to me, actually, that Zelda put her fucking soul into Midna.
Yeah, that's my... But the other...
Hold on. Because if... God fucking... I forgot it. Whatever.
Okay. So, the thing is that... that raises the question, though, of... So, Zelda transfers her power into Midna to make her immune to the effects of light hurting Midna.
Oh, I remember now.
Yeah.
Yeah,
because she's capable of materializing in the light world now.
Yeah. Go ahead, Sleepy, real quick.
Stop putting your whole fucking mouth inside of the mic.
I'm not.
You really are. Your face is not even like an inch away from the mic.
Listen, man. I'm watching the bar.
Hey guys, you guys like this type of podcast where we're literally like right in your ears? Your earwax tastes great. People don't like that.
I like it.
You like
Look,
it?
I need to clean my ears out,
way,
so maybe do that a little more.
Anyway, go ahead, Sleepy.
Yes, go.
What is it? Oh yeah. Ganon and Zelda have shown time and time again that they have the ability to tap into a type of magic and use it.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Link is the only one that needs objects or a blessing from another creature to use magic. Why is that?
The only time...
Why is Link the only one that can't have his own magic?
Okay, here's the thing, right? The only evidence of magic I've seen in Link, and I think I've actually got a fairly good case for this, his magic is purely defensive in nature.
Oh, fair.
And,
I can see that.
Okay, so I'll give you one reason why I think that is. You know, in Ocarina of Time, when you meet the Great Fairy of Courage, she bestows upon you double health.
They can hear the mouth movements.
No, they can't.
So,
no, they can't.
I'm sorry, continue, Stygian.
No, yeah, so, yeah, that's one part of it. The Great Fairy of Courage literally gives you a defense buff as part of her power. Secondly, in Ocarina of Time, you know there's that moment where Ganondorf just fucking showers you with shadow magic, like, at the start of the fight?
Yeah.
I'm like, Link was not affected at all.
Yeah, no, he wasn't.
Meanwhile, Navi can't get anywhere near him without dying.
He has the Master Sword. It repels it.
I was thinking it was partly him. And the other thing is, like, Twilight Princess...
it's the Master Sword. It repels it.
Yeah, well, that does make sense, given how it repels Ant's magic as well.
And not even just that, but literally the only way to get rid of the shard that's in your head that permanently made you a beast
That's what
form,
I meant.
Yeah, that shard is only removable by the Master Sword. So, of course, when you're attacked by shadow magic, it's not going to affect you if you have the Master Sword, of course.
That's the other thing, actually. I was going to go into Twilight Princess, because that's one of the times where the uses of the Triforce of Courage has properly been done, because the Triforce of Courage is essentially a protection ward for Link, where instead of being turned into a spirit, who is essentially powerless in the Twilight Realm,
that's
or even
his
worse,
magic. Well, at least for this one, anyways.
Yeah, the Wolf Link. Yeah, the Wolf form.
Hold on. Is that even the case? Because Ganon's beast form is the pig, the giant hog. That's
Oh,
his
yeah,
beast
yeah, that's-
form.
Well, yeah, but
oh yeah,
the thing
that's
is,
it. And he can do that on command. But
Yeah, and
that's
that
part
means
of-
Zelda has
part
a
of
beast
his
form
magic.
too.
yeah,
Probably
you just don't see it.
You just don't see it.
Also, let's be honest, Zelda's is probably a fox.
Probably, yeah.
a fox, maybe just Hylia reborn or something.
Yeah. But yeah, that does make sense though, because like the Triforce of Courage is basically a defensive ward against the Twilight, and it turns him into the wolf.
Actually, I'd say she'd be a wolf too, because she's Queen.
A white
Zelda.
wolf to contrast the black wolf.
She's a queen. She's the leader of a pack. Of course, she'd be a wolf.
Well, Fox would still work in that case.
Well, no, yeah, it would, but for that Zelda, I think she'd be better if she was like.
I think it would work more as a
wolf.
fox. Because
Let's not get into which Zeldas of the series have a better persona. All right, let's continue.
Right? Yeah. Actually, I just want to dwell on that for one more second because I've just realized the absolute irony that Ganondorf is a pig, right?
Yep.
And Link is a wolf. And yet Ganondorf's the big fuck-off predator in the scenario.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like what is
Yeah.
that?
It's a complete fucking reversal. It's great. Alright, next thing. Oh yeah, here's the thing. Again, this is a really tiny thing. Access to the Temple of Time in Twilight Princess. It's done by plunging the Master Sword into the pedestal.
Yes.
And I have to ask, why is this just like not at all a thing in Ocarina of Time? Like when did this get installed? This is supposed to
Because
be
it was
ancient
already
magic.
there.
What do you mean?
It was already there.
If
in
it was
One Piece.
already there, it would already be there.
Well, you
But
gotta
for some
understand. You gotta understand. It was there in One Piece, both when he was a child and when he was adult. When
Yeah, but in
when
Twilight
adult
Princess-
when TP Link gets to the Temple of Time, it's destroyed. So when he puts the sword back in the pedestal, of course it's gonna reverse back time to when it wasn't.
Yes,
Or-
but then
Because
he
that's what
puts in
it
the
does normally when
Oh.
the Hero of Time used it.
Oh,
When
yeah,
he
I know what you're
plunged
talking
the
about.
sword
I'm
back
fine with-
into it, it went back into time.
Oh, I'm
when he
fine
was
with
younger.
that part of it. I'm talking about, like, okay, so you go through the door back in time, and then you have to put your sword in the pedestal again, and then it opens that stairway up into the rest of the Temple of Time.
Oh, I know what you mean. Yeah.
That's plot hole. That doesn't.
Yeah, I
need-
find that
doesn't need to make
incredibly
sense.
bizarre. It just feels like someone installed some more ancient
Yeah.
magic.
Yeah, like
How
did
they
you
just
do that?
installed an
After-
entire dungeon. to
Yeah.
this
After
fucking thing.
after the events of Ocarina of Time, the King of Hyrule was like, "All right, fuck it. We're not letting anyone get any of this power. Just put it, install Nyan onto the Temple
Just
of Time."
magic, make some
They just-
magic
they just
happen.
gave-
I don't care. I'm the fucking king of Hyrule.
They just gave Master Sword a DLC update.
Yeah, it put a bunch of traps in there. No one should be able to make it through. Oh shit! Someone made it through.
You know how many megabytes
Well, I mean, think about
of
it. It's the hero
light
of time.
magic
The
this
only
took?
person that's allowed to make it through.
Well, Hero of Twilight.
Oh yeah, okay. And here's here's another thing.
Reincarnation of the hero of time.
Yeah, but the Hero of
Zan-
Time is the hero of fucking Skyward Sword. So
Here's the next thing.
reincarnation. So you just go all
you
the
know
way
how,
back. So fuck
you
you,
know how
and your
Zan
logic.
became-
He's a
to,
direct. He's a direct reincarnation. The thing. Well, they're all direct reincarnations, but
exactly.
he got to meet his predecessor.
This is
That's
pointless.
the difference. TP Link got to meet his predecessor. He got to meet another one. It's just that this Zelda game, for some reason, just doesn't want to say it.
Okay, fine. Go
Mm.
ahead, Stygian.
Next next thing. So you know how Zant separated the mirror, right?
Yeah.
Into 4 separate fragments, and that's obviously fine because they explain why all that happened.
Yeah.
But here's the one weird thing. Why did it go to the Temple of Time? When did Zant get fucking time travel magic without touching the Master Sword? Because he
Yeah,
can't.
that is weird.
Like, did
Wait,
he get?
Was it confirmed that he went to the temple, like the actual temple
Well,
of
no,
time?
that's the thing is that how did it get to the Temple of Time?
What, the
If-
sword?
No, the mirror.
The mirror shards.
Because the mirror was
Oh,
broken in the
yeah.
present. So how did it
time.
get back to the past? I never even
How
thought
did he
about
go
that.
back in time to a location that Zant probably doesn't even know about?
Yeah, he wouldn't
because
even know
he hasn't-
about it.
Oh, well,
He
wait.
hasn't even been to the light
I know.
world.
The reason is that where Zant put it is in a destroyed area of where that temple used to be, hidden
Okay.
by something. When he went back in time, it created a stable area for it to be, so he could go and get it.
Who? What?
Link.
Wait, what?
Oh, Link?
Yeah.
Oh, well.
On why it's there in the past.
Okay,
Because
well,
Zant put
no.
it in a place that is destroyed
But
in
that-
the future.
that
But
would
when he
mean
went
that-
back into play, like in the past, that means.
But that
it's
would
an
mean that
excess
it would
memory.
have to exist in both the past and the
No,
present.
it doesn't. It just has to exist in the present. Remember, you're going back into the past. Anything
Yeah.
that's there in the present goes to the past with you.
But
That's how Link did it.
But it's the entire.
We gotta realize because Link, the Master Sword, and whatever he had on him are the only things that walk through that door into the past. Right?
Yeah.
Nothing else went in there with him.
Yeah, but he doesn't have the mirror with him.
But the mirror was already there.
I know,
The
but
mirror was
How
already
did it
placed in
get-
the area by Zant. So when he goes back into time and that area recreates itself, of course it's gonna be there. It's gonna be
But
there.
how-
yeah, but
untouched.
then that also
But
asks
how
the
did-
question:
but how
was
did
Goma
Zant put it
there?
there?
Yes.
But she's made of Twilight.
Ooh, good point.
Yeah, so how did Goma get in there? And
Yeah,
all the
Zant-
other enemies of Twilight.
The thing is, yeah. How did
Wait,
Zant
Goma?
get in there?
What's
Because you
Goma?
need to use
She's
the Master Sword.
Armagoma, the
get
boss
in
of
there.
the Temple
Oh,
of
the
Time.
spider. Yeah,
Yeah.
the spider boss. Spider boss.
Yeah, how'd she
You
get
would-
in there?
You would need the
Maybe.
Because she
Oh.
contains the mirror.
Well, because when in the area that it is that it's destroyed in.
Yeah,
I just
I
had
could
canon
say that area could have been already like where he put it may have already been infested by all of the spiders. But
I
mean,
just,
if you look at the giant boss spider and how it walks around the room, it doesn't look familiar to that room. It looks like it's
Yeah,
just recently been entrapped in
well,
a new
it.
area.
But
new
the thing is
I
that
just,
it has to move like through the portal though to get there, like Link does.
I
Wouldn't
just
it?
had canon
Yeah, but
that
it just drops. Well, think about
I
it this
just
way
had
though,
canon
because
that
look, the spider like it doesn't belong in that area. You can already
Well,
tell
yeah,
those spiders
it's-
don't belong there. It's an infestation
I know.
that they were already there. Wherever
Mm.
they were
Yeah,
already
but
there.
they
when
would
it
be
went
there
back
in the
time.
present.
Yeah, they're there in the present and got
Yeah.
brought back into the past. That's because since they are affected by the timepiece, well not the timepiece, but the mirror piece, and thus forth, because each spider is just a baby of the big spider. So they already have a connection to the piece. So since they are one with the piece, they stay with the piece. So if the piece is already there and the piece gets sent back in time, they're going back in time with it. That's the
This
only
would-
explanation I could have.
Here's the thing. This would then tell us that Zant is capable of time travel magic. Why does he not use this more?
Yeah, he would have to have time travel magic at that point.
Well, I mean, if he just had time travel,
Because the
magic,
alternative-
then he would have
the
then he would have fucked over everyone.
Exactly.
He
so-
could have gone back in
Yes.
time and killed Ganon and took the Triforce piece for himself.
Exactly. So that once again brings up the point of
So-
what the fuck.
Yeah, what the fuck?
The only way he could have gotten there otherwise is if he touched the Master Sword, which he physically can't because he's evil.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, yeah, he is evil.
And the gate's closed until Link opens it.
Well, actually, no, because the thing is the Master Sword, does it explicitly say that it repels Twilight?
Yes.
Okay,
Mhm.
then, yeah, that makes sense.
It repels anyone with an evil heart. This was said in
Mhm.
Ocarina of Time.
Well, then that means that people of Twilight that aren't working for Zant and aren't being controlled by Ganon's magic should be able to wield the Master Sword.
No,
and not
because
They
be
would
only the
be-
chosen hero can.
Well, not wield it, but be.
Oh yeah, yeah.
affected
They would
by
be
it.
able to touch it, but they wouldn't be able to wield it
Yeah, but the
because
thing is
Like
that-
they
The Master
won't
Sword
they won't
chose-
be slain with holy magic. They'll just be slain.
Yeah.
yeah, you need to be able to take the sword out of its pedestal in order
Yeah.
to even access
So
the Temple of Time.
The question
and-
is that the thing is like all of the Twilight magic that's being used that's bad is all influenced by Ganon because Zant's not using any of like his Twilight power.
No,
yeah,
he
no,
is.
he's not using.
It's explicitly that, yeah, he's like a sorcerer. He's a
Well,
Twilight
think about
sorcerer.
it this way though, because his Twilight magic is still blue, like the rest of Twilight. When it's influenced by Ganon, it has that bright red / orange streak through it. You know what I'm talking about. The shard, that's Ganon magic.
I kind of just think of it as okay. So I
'Cause
think
if you look at
here's
Midna's magic, it's still blue.
Here's what I actually think about how the Triforce of Power works, right? I don't think it actually gives you magical powers. I think it just enhances them. Because if you keep in
That-
mind, Ganondorf was already a sorcerer
Yeah,
before he got the Triforce of Power. I think he just got a buff.
Yeah, that's the explanation. Ocarina of Time is that he's a sorcerer.
Yeah,
So
that's why he does all that shit. Like,
Yeah.
he probably already knew how to turn into a fucking beast.
it just gives him, big buff chunk magic.
Yeah, big
Yeah,
chunk.
and I think it's the same with Zant. He uses Twilight magic because his magic is very distinct from Ganon's.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Well,
it's
I know in the fight between them, he uses his magic.
Mm-hmm.
But for a
Yeah,
lot
yeah,
of the
he
stuff
used-
that he
yeah,
does,
he uses his magic,
throughout
and
the
I'm saying
game
that
that's not
because-
specifically him, that's Ganon magic.
Well, the thing is that so I believe what the explanation is supposed to be is because when Zant is out, and he's throwing a tantrum because he's not the king of the Twilight, Ganon appears to him and is like, and he says that his god, aka Ganon, bestowed his magic upon him. So Zant has an amount of Ganon's magic because Ganon put an amount of power into him.
It's Ganon's magic.
So Zant basically got a buff,
Yeah, because
whereas Ganon already had the
Also,
Triforce
yeah,
of Power.
Zant wouldn't
Also,
be
remember
able
the
to
remember the
change
description of the
into
shadow crystal that Midna gives. That it's distinct from her own magic.
Yeah, that's Ganon magic.
Yeah.
That's Ganon
Yeah, they
magic.
do in fact say it is in fact Ganon's
Yeah,
magic.
because Zant doesn't have the ability to do that. He doesn't have strong enough magic to do
No,
that.
yeah,
the
he
only
has
one
never
that
seen-
would have the ability to harness shadow magic like that would be Midna in her true form and Ganon. That's it.
Yeah.
That's
And Midna's
it.
only capable of magic because it's kind of an inheritance thing
Yeah,
with being a
she's-
royal
yeah,
family member.
She's of the Twilight. She's
Yeah.
the Twilight princess. So of
Yeah, yeah.
course she's gonna be able to harness its power.
Yeah.
The Twilight Princess within the lore of the Twilight Realm is essentially a head mage.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I think it's even I can't remember exactly where it said, but they do pretty much choose a leader based on their prowess in magic. I think I can't
Yeah.
quite remember where that's
It's something
said,
along
but
those lines.
It's not hereditary- it's not hereditary.
Prowess, and I think they're their beauty too. I think it was something.
No,
vague.
I think I think it's supposed to be their magical prowess and their ability to harness it and all that
It's-
sort of stuff. So.
Yeah.
It's evidently not hereditary because Zant and Minna are not related.
Yeah.
Well, think about it this way: who should be in charge? I don't know. Literally, the person that can harness the magic we're made out of the best.
Yeah.
That makes pretty good sense to me.
Minna is the most proficient user of magic outside of Zant when he has power.
Yeah.
Well, the
And
thing
he only
Which is,
has
of
power
course,
from
not even
Ganondorf.
his.
Yeah, and he only has power from Ganondorf. But the thing is she never lost her ability to use magic. It's only been decreased.
Yeah, because he of the curse he put on
Yeah,
her.
and the fused shadows is her crown, which is basically
She mi-
our Triforce.
She might not have even lost the magic at all.
No,
she
didn't.
may have.
She uses magic all throughout the game.
Yeah, she may
Hand
not have
hair.
lost it at all. The
yeah,
imp had.
hair.
Yeah, the imp form was probably it probably didn't nerf her magic at all. It was just her appearance
Yeah.
Yeah.
because
It's
he was
more like,
literally just
haha,
doing
the
that to
people you
laugh.
know.
Yeah, he was literally just doing that to laugh at her.
All right. So then we've got what else have we got?
Okay. Back in time. Yep. Oh yeah, here we go. How did Midna and Zant even escape the Twilight Realm? I thought it was supposed to be a fucking prison.
For
Okay.
them, it's not. The Twilight Realm was never meant to be a prison. It was just being used as a prison by the by the spirits. It was just a normal place that Twilight people lived in. It was its own world that was invaded
Well,
by.
Yeah, it became
us.
that.
Yeah,
It became that
we
because they grew
made the mirrors.
complacent. in it.
Yeah, they made the Hylians made the mirror.
Yeah,
and
that-
invaded that land.
That's the thing is that that actually is explained in that the mirror, it's not destroyed until Zant gets out, and Zant only gets out after cursing Midna, at which point Midna runs off to the light world, and then Zant follows suit, and I would assume after that
Yeah.
he's destroyed the mirror by that point.
Because you got to understand, the only people strong enough to access that mirror
Are her and Zant.
are her. Well, no, not even Zant, because he doesn't have the power to yet. It would
But
be
what I'm sa-
Midna.
But what I'm
'Cause he
saying is,
doesn't get
why
the
have
power
I?
to leave unless Ganon gives it to him?
Well, that's the thing is that he had the power because Ganon had given it to him at that point.
Well, he
when
had
he curses Midna.
he had a
Okay,
form
yes.
of power, but not strong enough to leave yet, because he didn't have enough power to access the mirror. Go ahead.
I can- Okay, so here's the thing with all that, right? So first of all, the Twilight Realm, was initially where the Dark Interlopers were sent as punishment for what they did. It was essentially a makeshift dimensional prison. Why giving the leader any semblance of the ability to escape the Twilight Realm is just begging for a fucking second war. Like that's the first thing about it.
Yeah.
Yeah, fair.
Because did they really bet that they would become did they really bet they would like the Twilight Realm? They may have just hated it forever. It may have been like the blimmin' Necrontyr from Warhammer. They may have just grown to hate you even more.
Well, the thing is, if they hated the Twilight Realm and could still leave, why didn't they?
Yeah, that's
Their
the thing.
queen literally has the magic strong enough to open the portal so they
yeah.
can all
Why
leave.
have
Why
they not
didn't
left beforehand if they have that power? The other
Because
thing
it's their
is
home.
right.
It's their home. That's where
The
they
other
belong.
thing-
Well,
The other thing, right? If we're talking about Ganon's power at giving Zant the ability to leave the Twilight Realm, why did he give it to Zant in the first place?
Well, because
he have just
Zant listened to him.
Yeah, but why couldn't Ganon have just left on his own?
Ganon can't.
Yeah. Well,
Why
yeah,
can't
that's
he? He has the
is that-
power.
well, that's the thing is that I believe like the explanation is supposed to be that he was still trying to like regenerate his power or something like that, so he temporarily gives it to Zant so that he can, go and basically fuck up the world.
I can.
Yeah,
I guess-
I have a better way of probably explaining it. He has magic, but not the required magic to activate the mirror. Zant had the required magic to activate the mirror because you need Twilight magic to activate the mirror. But he's so weak and feeble in his ability to access the magic, he couldn't do it on his own. So fucking Ganon just plugged him right into him and just like, all right, get a good old jolt of this, flexed the muscle and put so much power into Zant, he became a god.
I think if there's one thing I could think of to explain it really is that okay, so Ganondorf at the
degree.
time was still technically a being of light, so when he went into the Twilight Realm, he would have been severely weakened, hence why he only manifests as a demon spirit thing.
No. Once he got the power of the Triforce of Power, once he got all that, he didn't have to worry about it. Like, I'm sure that alone would have kept him from turning into a beast. And even if it did turn him into a beast, he probably could have just, like, left. Like, after he made Zant his puppet, he could have just been like, unbeast form me.
Because I'm now remembering a bit of dialogue from him at the end of the game in which he says that when he got sent to the Twilight Realm, he was weak. He was weakened. Like,
Yeah,
and
it's
as you
Twilight
see,
Realm.
he only manifests himself as a spirit in
Well,
the
that
Twilight
and also
Realm.
he just got impaled by a magic sword, so I'm sure you'd be pretty weak too.
Oh yeah, but he shrugged that off.
Oh, fair. When he got the Triforce of Power, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, he shrugged that off. I'm thinking the Twilight actually did more damage to him because I don't think it works like the Triforce of Courage. It wouldn't protect him from the shadow magic.
Well, the thing is, it's like it
Oh.
wouldn't obliterate him though. It would just
Well-
turn him into a Twilight
Well, that's
being.
the thing. Okay, so this actually reminds me of the scene like when Zant is meeting with Ganon for the first time.
Yeah.
It shows Zant like getting absorbed into Ganon. Maybe Ganon just like put himself in Zant, basically.
Yeah.
like, hit him
the same way I theorized Zelda did.
Yeah, that's what I'm wondering if that's gonna happen.
Yeah. So yeah, there is that. So yeah, I can maybe think of a way around that. So yeah, I might even disqualify that one, though. I still find it strange that any member of the Twilight would be able to get out
Yeah.
if it's supposed to be a prison. Let me see. Yeah, I've said that before about how I don't know why the Twilight leader should be capable of destroying the mirror. If they're supposed to be prisoners, why did they have any input on the mirror's usage at all?
Oh, well, okay, well, how about this? Since they ended up becoming a collective, like a people that had a government, a leader.
They always had a government, though. They had a king before. Like,
well, and then probably in that case, whenever Hyrule, because like the thing is, it's like when Princess Zelda, because they like her and Midna, like they used to talk. She knows of their existence. Well, they may have not used to talk, but Zelda knows of their existence. So that means their existence have been well known for quite some time. At that point, maybe the reason that they were banished to that area, like they served their sentence and now it's theirs and they get to do whatever they want. Now that they're an established kingdom, I do think that the ruler should have the ability to destroy the only link between their two worlds in case one decides to invade the other. They're already imprisoned. What's stopping Hyrule from just figuring out some kind of magic that'll let them survive in the Twilight Realm and taking that from their own?
Why don't they give that power to someone of the Light Realm, though? Why would you
They
entrust
do.
that
Zelda
power?
has that power.
Does she?
Yes.
Yeah.
I don't think... Is it ever explained that she can destroy the mirror?
She's the one that destroyed it.
No, wait.
Is she not
the one
no,
that destroyed it?
no, that
Did.
was Midna. Midna can only.
Midna destroyed it.
Actually,
there is
that's
no
what Midna
explanation.
states is that only the ruler of the Twilight can destroy the mirror.
Oh, and then
There
we
is
go.
there is no statement at all that a member of the Light Realm could do it, which I
Yeah,
find
because the only thing that
incredibly
that the
bizarre.
light people did was just bury the damn thing.
Yeah.
That's all they can do is just bury it, so it can't
Yeah,
so it can't be activated from this side.
I guess, yeah. Fucking. All right. What was my next thing?
Because they
Oh,
don't
yeah.
want people leaving, but they definitely don't want people going.
Oh yeah. Next thing, and part of the reason I don't like Ganon in Twilight Princess. Second half of the game, he just sits in fucking Hyrule Castle.
Isn't that like every Zelda game?
But in Ocarina of Time, he'd already taken it over. Of course, he was sitting in his castle. He'd won.
Yeah.
In Wind Waker, he's not sitting around. He's sending his big fucking bird dude to find Princess Zelda so he can gain her power.
Wait, what are you
So,
asking? Well, what's the gripe? What's the gripe?
The gripe is he doesn't seem to have any plan. He just gets out of the Twilight Realm and then sits on his ass.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, because he just got out of the Twilight
Well,
Realm.
that's the thing is
He's
that
like, I'm
There is
free
no
now.
notion. There is no notion of what he wants to do, though. It's just
Yeah.
I want to take over Hyrule.
Well,
Okay,
he-
so why haven't you even started
yeah,
doing
he
that? You're
takes over
just
the
sitting.
castle, but he hasn't he obviously has, sorcery and summoning power of some sort. He doesn't even summon an army or anything
Well,
to
actually-
attack Hyrule Castle.
Well, actually, how about this?
Mm.
He already did it. The moment Zant covered the land in shadow, he already did it. He already had control of it. Because Zant had control of it, and Zant's his puppet. He already did it.
And then,
But then
and
you
it gets
come along and start undoing all he's did already.
But why doesn't he go back and try and do it?
Because he has Zant.
What-
Zant
yeah.
will do it. And then
But
Zant gets
Zant's
his
locked
ass
himself
whooped,
in
and
the
then he has
Twilight
to do
Realm.
it.
Zant's locked himself in the Twilight Realm at that point.
Yeah, Zant's just sitting on his throne at that point. So
Yeah.
what are they both doing?
Yeah, what are they both doing? Actually, okay, to be fair, Zant is sending Shadow Beasts through
Yeah,
portals.
Zant's doing all the work, but you can still do work while sitting on your ass. You just gotta have a higher position.
Of course, this even begs the question: if Zant's still capable of sending Shadow Beasts through the portals, why didn't he just send them back to the Light Spirits?
Because he need to have control. You need to have control of those areas, or they would fry from being just left out in the light.
They don't though. They clearly.
because they have
they
to
clearly
get through the
don't.
light to get to.
Oh, so
The light
we
beasts.
Yeah,
so
like,
the
you remember
Hylians get
the-
destroyed by people. The light gets destroyed by the Twilight, but the Twilight can live in the light. What the fuck is that?
Well, at least Zant
I think it
can.
has something to do with Ganon's power.
Yeah.
Well,
I
then,
think
yeah.
that's supposed to be the whole idea.
Then
Yeah,
there you
I
go.
think
you know what?
because Ganon's power is in the Shadow Beast because that's
yeah,
one of
because
the
the
powers.
Shadow Beasts are exactly that. They're
what-
just beasts. So
what
they're
I'm-
not the actual subject.
Well, what I'm wondering then is that maybe
The
what the
people.
case is that at the point of Link entering the Twilight Palace, he's in the Twilight Realm, Ganondorf has manifested himself again, in Hyrule, so he's in the Light World. So that power is gone from Zant, and so Zant can't summon any more Shadow Beasts to go to the Light Realm and take over again. But then that begs the question of why doesn't Ganondorf just summon his own Shadow Beast at that point?
Because he doesn't have control of the Twilight magic.
But he should.
No, he can't. He's
Well,
not.
he doesn't
He's
have Twilight magic.
yeah.
I
He's
guess,
not
yeah.
of the Twilight, so he cannot
So I
harness
guess
that
maybe
magic.
I don't know. It's weird.
No, he can't. He can't.
Yeah.
He's not of the Twilight, so he can't harness that magic. That's why he has Zant do all of it for him.
True.
Because yeah, Zant may have been working for him, but Zant wanted the same thing he did.
But Ganon can also summon monsters. And obviously he summoned monsters in Hyrule Castle itself, but why doesn't he just send them out and take over Castletown again?
Instead, he just locks himself in.
Yeah, he locks himself
Well, maybe
in the
because
castle.
he knows he's already lost, and now he's just waiting for Link to get up there to whoop his
He
ass.
does not think he's lost.
Yeah, he thinks he's won, if anything.
Yeah, no, he's confident as fuck.
Then that's just a pretty solid plot hole that
Yeah.
we
Yeah.
might not be able to fill.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's No, yeah, that's one of the big problems I have with him. Like, when you get to the fight with him, I'm just like, but in Wind Waker, you
Well,
had
okay,
motivation.
well, check this out, right? Check this out. Here it is. Every Ganon that can create beasts, right? They've done that after years of already knowing. Ganon just recently got this new juicy boost of power, but he's been locked away for so long he doesn't know how to use it yet.
In Ocarina of Time, he did it in 1 year. The 7 years in which he ruled over Hyrule, he'd already won in the first year.
Yeah.
Huh.
And this
Yeah.
is
Well,
the same Ganondorf from Ocarina
Yeah,
of Time.
it is the same Ganon.
Which also brings up another question for me personally. Why the fuck did the sages let him out of the Sacred Realm? To execute him.
To execute.
Oh no
him.
no!
I
Oh
know,
no
but
no!
why?
I
To
can
execute.
explain that.
To
I
execute.
can explain that. I can explain that. All right. So you know how the Zelda timeline works, and how it splits off into the adult and child timeline.
Yeah.
It's multiverse theory, right? So okay, Link seals Ganon away in the adult timeline. He then travels back, and he goes into the child timeline, in which none of the events of
right.
Hey,
Yeah.
you two know
Yes.
that
And what he
this
does-
question has already been explained, right?
Yeah.
yeah.
No,
This
I know.
is what I'm talking
Yeah,
about. This is what I'm talking
I remember the answer now. Yeah.
Yeah,
So,
he pretty much goes to tell the Hyrule family, yeah, this guy's
yeah.
trying to,
And then, they
take
imprison him in that timeline, and then the sages go to
Mm.
execute him. Yeah.
There's also theoretically a Gerudo-Hylian war, which explains
Yeah.
why the Arbiter's Grounds was built.
Yeah.
Yeah,
why the
that's why the
Gerudo
Arbiter's
was
grounds
dead.
were built, yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
The Arbiter was him.
Mhm.
He was the Arbiter.
Now, I've got 2 final points left. So, with, okay, this goes back to the first one I made. Ganon just loses the Triforce of Power seemingly at random at the end of the fight. Again, it feels like the gods just kind of intervene, and I'm just like, why? So if you could just take away the Triforce of Power at any point, why didn't you?
Well, see, that's the weird thing, because the most that we see is that, okay, so, well, yeah, the Triforce power gets taken away from him, and then suddenly Xant's just there in some weird dimension thing, and he cracks his neck, and it kills Ganondorf?
It's been demonstrated throughout the series that Ganon, like, the Master Sword actually is, they kind of say it is in Wind Waker, but I have another theory about that. So, but throughout most of the series, the Master Sword is not enough to kill Ganon. Like, when he has the Triforce of Power, he is completely immortal. You have to, or the best you can do is banish him. Like, the only reason you kill him in Wind Waker with a Master Sword is because he doesn't even have the Triforce of Power anymore.
Yeah.
And same
So
goes
that means
for...
then he's really dead.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then and like I say, in
And
Twilight
that actually
Princess...
follows through on Zelda 1 as well, all the way to Zelda 1, because you take the Triforce of Power from his corpse, and then he's just dead. Like, in that timeline, he's dead. He cannot be revived unless Link is killed, because Link holds the Triforce of Power at that point.
Pretty much.
So.
Oh, so that means that Link.
He
is the
won.
one. Well, not just that, but that means the Link that took the Triforce of Power, he doesn't have the Triforce of Courage anymore.
No, he
And
does.
the only reason... And the reason...
Zelda-
Can he have
well,
both?
Yeah, he can. Zelda 2, the entire plot of that game is you're going to get the Triforce of Courage to prove your worth, in a total of finality, basically.
I thought it
to
was
prove your worth.
I thought it was to get the Triforce
hero.
of Wisdom to revive Zelda.
It's worth
No.
noting as
Oh,
well...
no, that's the thing, is that, you have to get the Triforce of Courage, and then you already have the Triforce of Power. Link has it at that point.
Yeah.
Mm.
That's why he's able.
and
That's why
he has the Triforce of Wisdom as
Yeah.
well.
Because
so he
the
has
only
to get
reason he
the-
can do the little sword beam stuff is because of the Triforce of Power.
Yeah, so the reason why he's going to get the Triforce of Courage in Zelda 2 is to get all 3 of them together to release the curse on Zelda.
Yeah.
Yeah, so she wakes up. Anyway, go ahead, Stygian.
And it's worth noting that in Zelda 1, you don't defeat him with the Master Sword, of course, you defeat him with silver arrows.
Yes.
Pretty much a new invention.
Yeah.
Okay, next thing. Okay, yeah, this is my final one. I don't know why Minna broke the mirror at the end.
Because she wanted to create a final link, like a final severed link between them two. She just doesn't want what happened again to happen again. Well, what had happened to happen again.
Yeah, because it does call into question of, all right, well, we just had this huge catastrophe happen with Zant because he went crazy and had, immense power.
And just left.
Yeah, and then he just
Okay.
left. Then how,
Okay.
Go ahead.
Here's the thing. So if we're talking about the thing about the societies, going at war together again, but remember, the entire reason the war started off to begin with because someone from the Light Realm went into the Twilight Realm and started fucking shit up. It was the Light Realm's fault in the end.
Well, yeah, but you also have to understand, very few people in the Light Realm have the ability to harness magic. So that means very few of them, if they actually went to the Twilight Realm, they wouldn't be able to do a whole lot. They die instantly. You need the magic to save yourself.
It is also worth noting, right, that there is a speech that Midna gave to Zant after you beat him about why they didn't elect him in the first place. The one about his eyes, right?
Yeah.
They knew he wanted control. They knew he wanted to take over the Light Realm. They knew he was pretty much a Twilight nationalist. Like they knew that. That's why they didn't make him. That's why they didn't make him a ruler in the first place.
Oh my god! He was literally.
And this is just the thing.
I can't say it on stream, but
Yeah,
you know. Yeah.
Yeah, you know what he is. Yeah,
that's great.
But the whole thing is like the Twilight Realm is very well aware of their history, and they're very well aware that they should not start another thing with the Light Realm. The Light Realm, like Zant was the sole exception, and the only reason he got into power was again because of someone from the Light Realm. It was the Light Realm started it all off, which is why I'm just saying I don't think.
Mainly
really
because of this, they don't want. Oh, go ahead. My bad, Stygian. Continue.
Yeah, I'm just saying, like Midna is now in governance of the Twilight Realm, and all of the people that were in there, they were all fucking controlled by Zant because he couldn't get any willing followers, clearly. So they're all pretty much in agreement. Yeah, no, we're cool with the Light Realm. We'll leave them be. But she still finds the need to break the mirror.
I feel the reason that she broke the mirror is so that no one gets in. No one can get in. No one can get in. That means Ganon can't come back in.
Yeah, Ganon can't come back in.
That
means
a good point.
Zant can't come back in.
Well, he's dead.
He's dead, yeah.
Yeah, he's dead. But even if he got revived,
he fucking exploded.
I think she broke the mirror not so that no one from the Twilight world can get out, it's so that no one from the Light world can come in. Because you gotta understand, like no one from the Twilight realm in the second war, well, at least when Ganon was doing this shit that he was doing, none of them were fighting. It was all beasts, and there's real Twilight people.
Yeah.
It was all beasts that were doing the work for Zant. No Twilight people were actually involved. So I think she did it more of as a measure to protect her people.
The Twilight people were involved. It's just that they were possessed.
Yeah, they were possessed.
What in the second war or the first war?
Well, in
the events of Twilight Princess.
In the events of Twilight Princess, like that's what you see. You see, when you enter the Twilight Palace. Remember, you see all those citizens, they're being transformed slowly into Shadow Beasts.
No, fair.
They look like Shadow Beasts, and they only have the curse lifted by Link wielding the Master Sword.
Well, in that case, do you think
it works like a Majora's Mask, essentially?
Because
those things corrupt you.
If that's the case, then that means then it was done against their will, and they themselves weren't wanting to willingly do it.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Zant, he wanted control of the Light Realm, and he pretty much says he wants to do it for his people, but his own people don't agree with him, so he pretty much pulled an Anakin Skywalker and went, I will make them agree.
Yeah.
Dons on Shadow Beast mask.
Yeah.
Before we finish up your
I'm already finished.
Okay. Well, before we officially finish it, I have one last
segment.
Little plot hole question that no one ever thought about. What happened to all the Twilight portals?
Good question.
Yeah, that you make with Midna.
Because by all intents and purposes, they should still be there.
Do they just get dispersed when she leaves?
Does
she disperse them from
She
the
never said anything about it.
Those portals are under her control, so she would have power over them.
Yeah, but she
never... Now the question is, can those portals then be used to go through to the Light world?
Probably.
Well, no, I guess...
Wait, no, because those portals only exist in the Light world.
Yeah,
no, there are only portals in different sections of the Light world.
Yeah. All right, well then that makes sense.
So yeah, they're not connected to the they're not connected to the Twilight Realm at that point. They are when they're red, when the Shadow Beasts first emerge, because I can't think of any other way they got there. But yeah,
Well then,
they're not connected when they're blue. So I'm just thinking either Midna got rid of them. This is more just a plot hole that never got explained. She either got rid of them, or they disperse afterwards, or they are just there permanently now, and now everyone's gonna look up into the sky and like, God, look at that fucking black thing.
yeah,
Hideous.
I hate it.
Evil it is. Evil.
Yeah, just imagine that the people just grow to fear that thing.
Oh God, yeah, that would be terrifying though.
Yeah.
Those fucking dark portals over your village. Like that thing's in
Maybe
Kakariko.
Zelda's able to dispense them. Who knows?
Who knows?
Yeah, no, I'm pretty sure there's a way to clear them up.
Now for the segment where we said we were gonna make you a guinea pig.
The final segment before we wrap up the podcast here.
I do enjoy experiments.
We have a card game called Video Game Trivia.
I got it for Christmas.
He got it for Christmas. We're going to read you 3 cards. Well, yeah, 3. We'll read you 3 cards, and you have, you'll be scored on those. If you, I don't know, let's say that if he gets 2 out of the 3 right, he gets a little special Discord thing saying that he
Card winner.
Yeah, that he won the trivia game or something. We can make a little something.
Also, audience, feel
Just
free
maybe
to
mod
take a
on your
guess at 'em
server.
as well.
Yes, there will. I also want to do like 2 specifically
'Cause
designed just for
real
them.
quick,
So
actually,
5
no.
cards altogether.
If you are in the Discord, and you guess correctly, I'll make sure that you get that roll as well.
Yes, you get the card winner roll.
So before you begin, let me get a link.
Do you want left side of the deck or right side of the deck?
It does not matter.
I feel it does. Let the man choose.
Oh, you're asking him.
Yeah.
You're asking me.
I go left.
Left? Okay.
These better be about games I've actually played.
It's random.
Do you want to give him a shuffle or just go? I'll give him a quick shuffle. Just to spruce things up.
All right, all the ants.
All right. Now remember, we're doing 5 total, 3 specifically just for Stygian, and then 2 for
Stygian,
chat.
no. I'm not going to do that.
You will.
No, I won't.
Yes, you will.
Let's begin.
Maybe I will. I don't know.
First one. Oh, we're playing 2.
Okay.
Except for the person that's reading it, obviously. Because
Okay,
they
well, fine. Then I'll read a card after you read a card.
Duh, we'll pass off.
All right, fine.
There's 2 of us here.
Good.
First
Get
up.
ready to guess, audience.
Oh God, I am not in this. Like, I need light, dude.
Also, it's probably a bad idea to have the dyslexic guy do this.
I can read. It's just I can't read.
You can't.
All right. In Devil May Cry, in the Devil May Cry series, what are you? Yeah, what are the name of Dante's signature handguns?
Ebony and Ivory.
Ding ding ding.
All right,
Nice. That's
Now
one.
give me that
There's
second.
2. There's 2. There's 2. I didn't
Are you
read
gonna?
it. I
Okay.
didn't read it.
Senjo Glad.
Released for the PlayStation, which Namco racing game featured a minigame of Galaxian on the loading
Ridge Racer.
screens? You gotta let me finish reading it, man.
Was it Ridge Racer?
It was. Ridge
I wasn't
Racer,
gonna get
though.
that anyway.
My bad. I'm so sorry, Stygian.
I
I'm so
was never
sorry.
going
I'll
to
get
get
you
that.
another one.
I had no
I
idea.
just knew that one off the top of my head.
That's fine. That's fine.
Well, no, because then he doesn't.
He didn't know it.
I did not know. I
Yeah,
hadn't
you
a
didn't know.
fucking clue.
Okay. Well, there's still 2. Okay.
I knew.
Or
that
we'll do
one.
this. We'll do this. Since there's 2 questions per card, we'll do one for him and then one for us.
Okay.
Now you go.
Man, all the cards are falling.
Don't let me see them. Oh.
Let me set them right there. How about?
Yeah, that's fair.
All right. The Hellgast are the main antagonists from which video game series?
Oh,
The Hellgast.
The Hellgast.
Yes.
Oh, that sounds familiar.
Ooh, we got someone in chat that knows this.
Joe
Go ahead and
knows.
answer then. Don't look at chat, Stygian.
Yeah,
I
don't
will
look
know.
at chat.
Yeah, I'm not. I'm not.
I mean,
Oh, yeah, I can't think of it.
All right.
Hellgast.
Go ahead and answer
that's
chat
so
word.
familiar. Is it?
Josephus got it right. It is Killzone.
Oh, is it the first Killzone?
Damn it, no.
That's
yeah, I wouldn't have
why.
got that.
That's why.
Which 1996 rail shooter pits the player against the zombified creations of Dr. Kyrian?
Which rail shooter? Oh, House of the Dead.
Yes.
Yes.
Damn it. Oh, no.
All right, now you go, big man.
All right, Stygian, this one is for you. Brum, dun, dun, dun.
We need to get some music for this segment.
For real. All right.
I know a song, actually, that'd be good.
Fizco releases which toxic energy drink in the 2004 game Sunset Overdrive?
Sorry, say that one again.
You want me to read it?
No, I can read it. I just need sun. Fizco releases which toxic energy drink in 2014 game Sunset Overdrive? Yes,
Oh,
that
God.
came out in 2014. The Xbox One came out in 2014.
No, 16.
Was it really 16?
Okay, I remember
But that
reading
game was
this.
slated to come out on 1.
It got ported.
What console was it originally on?
I think it was Steam.
Was it? No, because it's not. Is it on Steam?
It's either on Steam or 360.
Well, it's not on 360. I know that for a fact.
I don't know, man. It doesn't matter.
Well, do you know, Stygian?
I've definitely read it somewhere before. Fuck.
Let's Stitch answer.
It's probably got Sun somewhere in it, but I can't recall the name.
All right. Well,
5,
do you want me to answer?
4,
I don't know the
Yeah,
answer.
I'll
3.
pass.
Yeah.
2, 1. It is Overcharged Delirium XT. Who could forget?
Yeah, who
Who
could
c-
forget such a
who-
memorable name?
Who could have known?
You forgot that one game that came out on the Xbox One of all things.
All right, so
All right,
I'm going to
Shorn.
read this one.
What short? You just read one to me.
Well, I'm going to read one to you now. You just read one to me.
You have 2 cards.
Oh, I do. Okay. Give me that.
No.
Okay, fine. I see how it
This
is.
is your question. From which other video game franchise are the Raving Rabbits originally a spin-off? You
Rayman.
should know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I wasn't
yeah.
going to, yeah.
Stygian took that one.
Yeah.
I remember seeing the original ads.
All right. Well, that is 2 out of 3. I think he's earned himself a I won the
Discord
trivia
roll.
game. Yeah, Discord
I won the
roll.
trivia game.
I win the trivia game. All right, chat. These last 2 are for you.
All right.
Pick a card, any card. Okay.
Just rip it out of your hand. Okay. Take it easy there.
Somebody clip that, please. That was good.
All right. Question.
Ooh.
What kind of bear is best? I'm just kidding. That's an office joke.
What kind of bear?
Question. Bandage Girl is the girlfriend of which video game character? It's
I
really
got it.
easy.
I
You
got
can't
it.
you can't
I
answer.
got it.
This
I
is
got
for
it.
chat word.
But this is you, chat.
I can't clip yet. Chat word. Come on, Josephus. I know you can get it.
Yeah, I know you got it, Joseph.
Bandage Girl is the girlfriend of which video game character?
Do you have it, Stidge?
Again, rings a bell. Not quite pulling it together. It's for
5,
chat though, so I'm gonna Google
4,
it.
Bandage Girl.
3, 2, 1.
Meat
Oh,
Boy.
of course.
It is Super Meat Boy.
Yep.
Of
Not
fucking
Super Meat Boy,
course.
Meat Boy
Oh.
specifically.
Oh, yeah. Well, I mean, technically Super Meat, because Super Meat Boy it was the port.
Semantics.
It's the port.
Yeah.
All right, now
All right.
for me. What do you got?
Which famous wrestler had a cameo appearance in Saints Row 4?
Batista.
Wrong. Roddy Piper.
Really?
Yep.
Oh, that's gross. That's fucking gross.
That leaves the last question. This is your last chance, Josephus, for the... Yeah, it's your card.
This is your last
This
chance.
is your last
Josephus.
chance, Josephus, to get that special roll.
Come on. You
I want to
got
make
this.
a better prize, but we gotta wait.
Oh, here.
We'll have
If
to
that's
wait.
the case, then let's give him 3 and let's give them 3.
No, that's fine.
But he only has like either you get one right and lose, or you get both right and win. That's not fair.
I guess, yeah.
Yeah, we gotta shake up the odds.
All right,
more.
fine.
We gotta shake up the odds. Make it winnable for a lot of these people. This is involving a lot of different video games.
It's true.
All right, chat. Question. The Last of Us. To which organization is Joel attempting to smuggle Ellie? I knew this without even needing to see the card.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go home and cry now while bathing in Jack Daniels.
Bathing.
Oh, God,
You want to
yes.
get some Dairy Queen after this?
Ooh, that sounds great, actually.
I have no idea.
I'll put up a timer for like
No.
1 minute. You
If-
just wanna okay.
If he doesn't
5,
know, Umbrella Corps.
4, 3, 2, 1. The Fireflies.
Yep.
All right, Sean, Storfophilus, King Storf the Third.
Yeah, that's my name. Don't wear it out.
This one's for you. Oh, well, actually, you just might know this. In Grim Fandango, for which organization does Manny Clavera work as a travel agent?
I used to know that one because I've seen Grim Fandango.
Yeah, I was about to say,
Grim
you should know
Fandango.
Grim Fandango.
It's what is it? I don't remember. It's the I want to say it's Bones something.
Well, you are right about Bones, but you're wrong in the question. The answer is the Department of Death.
Department of Death, yeah.
All right.
I knew it was something like that.
I knew it was a pun on something
It's our last
having
question.
to do with death.
All right,
All right.
chat. Here we
Chat word. Since his first appearance in the 1992 game Kirby's Dream Land, who has been Kirby's archenemy? This is piss easy.
go. Yeah, I got it.
Yeah, come on.
Come on, Josephus. I know you can do this. I believe in you, chat.
No. No. Come on, Joe.
No! You're wrong, Joe. It's King DDD.
It's King DDD. Meta Knight is the rival.
Yes, he's the rival, but the
Not
arch
the
enemy is King
nemesis.
DDD. Oh, fuck, I never played Kirby. Honestly, not a bad guess, though, for having not played Kirby.
Yeah, to be
That's not
honest,
a bad
yeah,
guess.
that would be the next guess.
Yeah.
Well, I like this segment a lot. I'm making
You
it
have one more
permanent.
question.
Oh, we do?
Yeah, you have one more question.
Ooh. All right,
All
tell you what, Joseph. Tell you what. If I get this one right, I'll give you my win.
All right.
I'll win this one for you.
Or will you? All right. So, in BioShock Infinite, which character has made his fortune from selling plagiarized songs of the 20th century obtained through tears in dimensional space and time?
Fuck no! I know the guy. I just don't know his name.
The full name. Give me the full name.
Okay, I know it ends with I know it ends with Fitzgerald. It ends with Fitzgerald. I know
Okay.
that.
Ah, Fitzgerald,
What's the
that's a
first
fucking
name?
meme.
I want to say, is it Frank? Frank Fitzgerald?
Wrong.
No,
Albert Fink.
Albert Fink. Oh, Albert Fink. Fitzgerald doesn't show up until like way later in BioShock Infinite.
Yep.
He's actually the one that made he's the one that owns the fuck, what are they called? The George Washington robots.
Yes. Yeah,
and
yeah.
for the Vox, the Abraham Lincoln.
Yeah.
That was good. That was a
Yeah.
good one.
That was a good question.
Yo, Chad, you good for like another few more, or do you want to go ahead and wrap it up? Because I'm definitely making this a mainstay segment. That was fun.
Maximus Decimus Meridius, leader of the Legion, commander of the North, father to a murdered son and husband to a murdered wife, and I will have my vengeance. Sure, he says.
Sure.
Yeah, sure.
Sure. Sir.
Let's do two more.
Do it.
And we'll call it. We'll give one more to you, one more to me, and two more to the audience.
Okay.
You want to go first, or do you want to?
Or would you rather
Rock,
let
paper,
or
scissors?
would you rather let trivia decide?
I'm gonna go.
Okay.
Let's see here. All right, chat. How many characters does the player choose from in the 1989 classic side-scroller Golden Axe?
Oh, I know.
Yes, but this is for chat.
Well, wait, read the first part of the question again.
How many characters does the player
Okay,
choose
yeah,
from
I know.
in Golden Axe? I wasn't even around then.
You see, the thing is
I know the answer, though.
I know the answer
Yeah.
too. It's just none of us should. Me and you should not know the answer to that question.
3.1415. All right, you know what? I'm going to... You're really close with your first guess, Joseph, but you need to change.
Well, that's his answer. You
Damn
already
it.
locked it in.
Damn it, fine.
He's already
Three.
locked it in.
Three.
It's
It was three, yeah.
It was 3.
All right.
Technically 2.5 if you want to count the dwarf as half.
You get to play
I
as
get
a
it.
barbarian, a female warrior, and
A dwarf.
a dwarf.
There was an elf, a man, and a dwarf.
An elf, a man, and
An elf, a man, and a dwarf. In the insult sword fighting section of the classic adventure game The Secret of Monkey Island, what is the correct comeback to the infamous insult "you fight like a dairy farmer, Sleepy"?
Moo.
Is that your final answer?
Yeah.
How appropriate. "You fight like a cow" is the correct answer.
That's good. I should probably go play Monkey Island. That's actually pretty funny.
I really want to, actually.
You've
That
got a
was-
lot of
dude,
double
you wanna know who
fine
made that?
games on this already.
LucasArts.
Yeah, sounds about right.
Yeah.
I mean, George is boring, but he certainly has a sense of humor.
Well, it wasn't even him that wrote it.
Exactly.
Which makes sense.
All right, chat. Question. In which 2015 video game did Bosa Studios... Wait, by Bosa Studios, does the player control a sentient slice of bread? This should be easy as fuck.
Everyone knows this.
Everyone knows
Big mean
this.
game.
Wait, say it again.
Which 2015 video game by Bosa Studios does the player control a sentient slice of bread? Literally gave Markiplier his career.
Yeah, it
Oh
really
god,
did.
yes.
It
Also,
really did.
one of his videos of it ended up on Pornhub.
Yep. Yes, it did.
Is that going to be your final answer, Joseph? Prop hunt? Lol.
Prop hunt.
You're gonna feel
I'll
like a
see.
big old dummy. If you
I
don't
have
say
no
the right
idea.
answer, Joseph.
So yes, I am toast.
Should
we give
I'll
wings?
give it to
Alright,
him. I
alright.
am bread.
All right, newborn plum. It's
Well,
I am bread.
it's I is toast because your whole objective is to become toasted.
Yeah.
So that makes sense.
Yeah.
All right, we'll give that one to you. Nice, very nice.
Unfortunately, that's only 1 point.
Yeah.
So, shame. But that's
Well, I mean,
fine.
did you just get here?
Well, he's been here.
Oh, okay.
But he didn't answer the other ones.
All right. Well, this one's for you, big boy.
Woo!
Who was the designer of the 1999 game System Shock 2, also known for directing the 2007 spiritual successor to BioShock?
Run that by me again.
Who was the designer of the 1999 game System Shock 2, not System Shock 1, System Shock 2, also known for directing the 2007 spiritual successor, BioShock? I know this person.
Joe Pappuccino.
Nope.
All right, what's the name?
Ken Levin.
I didn't know that.
Yes.
Because I don't pay attention to BioShock or anything, really.
He's actually gone on record saying that if he ever had to make another BioShock game, he'd kill himself.
A.K. Flomgus Dangleberger.
Wait, no, not kill himself. He'd go crazy. If he had to direct another BioShock game, he'd go crazy.
Yeah. All right, well, that wraps it up.
that wraps it up.
So we'll take you guys to the end screen.
Well, I gotta
Wow.
say thank you.
Yeah, well, yeah, no, I'm saying we'll take you guys to the end screen while we're saying thank you for watching. And also, Stygian, my man, thank you for making such a great guest.
Oh yeah, big thanks, Stygian.
Out of our 2
Not a problem.
podcasts, which
Not a
there
problem.
isn't much competition, you definitely pushed the longest out of them all. We're almost 4 hours here. But it was a good discussion. It was a good discussion all
Very
around.
good discussion.
Yeah.
That was fun.
Yeah. So that was a good, healthy amount of time, and I think we're about ready to wrap it up. So,
most
Sleepy,
definitely.
anything you want to say?
I want to say thank you guys so much for joining us today in our second podcast. I know it's been so long since the last one.
Yeah, it has.
It has been
That was unintentional.
disgustingly long since the last
We've
one.
been disgustingly busy though.
But just know that we didn't neglect you guys. We're gonna try and hopefully get another one out within either this up and coming week or the week after that one. But it won't take months. It won't take months.
Yes, it will not take months. And
So-
I think this was just a month in between.
Mm-hmm.
some
Oh
of
yeah.
the last ones.
Oh yeah. But to everyone who showed up, especially since you've been waiting for so long since the last one, you guys know who you are. Thank you guys so much for watching again.
And thank you to all the new followers.
Oh yeah, and thank you for all the new guys who showed up. Hey man, you guys came in at a great time. They waited a whole month for this episode. So, don't worry, it won't happen again. At least we'll try not to make it happen again. The only other things I can say after that is we do have a Discord. Again, I know we've already said like 2 times before, but feel free to join the Discord.
Yep.
And also, if you're feeling financially generous, we do have a Patreon if you wish to support us. We're not really gonna push it on you guys. I'm not even gonna like say an ad reel for it every podcast.
Yeah, and I don't have we have the link, but I have to go hunt down for it real quick.
Yeah,
But
we're gonna go drop
yeah.
it in the I guess the Discord. or
Yeah,
whatever.
I'll put it in the
What?
Discord.
We'll drop it in the Discord. But if you guys are feeling financially generous, feel free to support us that way if you wish.
And also, we stream
we're
on our
not.
own.
Yeah, we stream on our own.
I
We
know-
both have our own
Yeah,
stuff.
most of you watch us already that are here, I know.
Yeah.
But, just worth pointing out.
He has his own YouTube channel and streaming channel. I have my own YouTube channel.
Yeah,
and
speaking of
streaming
Zelda,
channel.
I'm making a Zelda 1 review right now.
You are.
I wrote a
honestly,
crap ton of script.
I honestly can't wait to see that. That's gonna be great.
So,
But yeah, feel free to check us out on our other ventures. Other than this, there'll be links to everything in Discord, I guess. And thank you guys so much for watching. Once we hit affiliate, we'll be able to do like subs and donations and all that.
dude,
But until then-
subs for winning the card game. That could be cool.
Oh yeah, we can gift subs for anyone. We can gift a sub to anyone who wins the card game. There's that. So yeah. But thank you guys so much for watching. We'll catch you guys in the next podcast fairly, hopefully sooner, much sooner, definitely sooner than it took us to make this one.
Yeah.
But yeah, we'll be definitely looking forward to seeing you guys then.
And thank you again, Stitch.
And thank you again, Stygian.
No problem, man.
Goodbye, everybody.
Goodbye.